Hello and welcome to episode 30 of In PS We Trust. Now my name's Davey and joined with me as always is Phil.
I love to reload during battle.
And Spencer.
Let's get fucking smashed, boys.
That's right, listener, it's episode 30. So it's the third time we're doing a fucking blowout on this podcast.
Hashtag blowout, mate. Hashtag. Let's get those hashtags in. We're very social media conscious these days, with everyone joining in on Twitter and the conversations over at Reddit. So everyone hashtag that blowout. Hashtag blowout, guys. Let's have it tonight.
Hashtag blowout. It's going to be a pretty wild one. So install this episode, listener. You're going to have all the usual amazing content that you've come to expect with what we've been playing, quick news, rumour has it, and topics. But one of those topics is the big quiz. So one in every 10 episodes, so every, what do you even call it? Every decade of the podcast? Is that even a thing? Is that just time, or can you use that as a number as well?
Sure. Why not? Let's just say that.
Yeah, I'm sure that's probably not right. That's probably not good English. Anyway, every 10 episodes of the podcast, we do a big quiz. So we each ask 5 questions to each other. The loser, who doesn't get the question right, essentially, takes a shot. And the whole point of this is so that we can get completely rat-arsed. So, that brings me on to, what are you drinking today, boys? Spencer, we'll start with you.
I always start. Sadly, this episode, I don't really have anything to sip upon whilst we casually talk through our topics and quick news. So
what have you got?
Well, for my little sipping drink, I've just got some Tango Dark Berry.
Okay.
Because, I've got to calm down sometimes. Can't be that mental. But then, when I do need to drink, I've got the Spencer Classic Bit of Fireball.
So, instead of having something sensible just to drink as a default level, you're just going all hard all the time.
Yeah.
Just the way my missus likes it. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Living large on a Saturday night. What it was like to be young. I don't even remember those days.
Oh, well, there's a reason we don't remember it, mate. It's because we did too much of it. That's the problem.
And Spencer's not going to remember this either. It's probably good we're doing a podcast so Spencer can look back and go, oh, that's what it was like when I was young. This is what I was doing. That blank in my mind, I was doing PlayStation podcasts.
You know, like when we used to go on a night out and then you'd phone round in the morning and be like, yo, what actually happened last night? I have no memory. I have no recollection what happened. And you kind of all together piece a story about what happened, because some of you will remember like, oh, we waited at the bus stop and mooned a car for 20 minutes. And then someone will be like, what, did we? I just remember getting a kebab. And then you just kind of gradually get this complete story together. You won't need that tonight.
You have to wait until someone walks into work and reminds you of those things, David.
Jesus, yeah, I can't believe that actually happened to me. That's the worst. Mooning a customer.
Because, of course, we grew up in the land of no social media, What did we have? Texts?
Yeah. If you're lucky.
We could text each other and find out kind of what happened, but there was no picture there was no picture evidence back in the day, was there, really?
No, nothing like that, thank God. You guys got it way
too
rougher.
Much now. Yeah, it's too much picture evidence now. There's some bad pictures of me.
I've seen one with your arse out. In fact, if anyone follows Spencer on Twitter, you've probably seen his arse by now, because it seems to be out every couple of months. So... yeah. That's your plan for tonight then, Spence. So you're just going hard, ride or die with the fireball pretty much from the off.
Yeah.
Nice. I respect that. So what about yourself, Phil? What are you on tonight?
Well, Davey, as you know, and as Spencer knows, it was my birthday last weekend. And we went out around Bristol, didn't we, on the day out? We had a great little time drinking and playing pool. And I was lucky enough to get a couple of presents on my birthday, and one of them was the Czech Pilsner Lager from Marks and Spencer's. So I'm sampling that tonight. Never had it before. So I cracked open my first can. Quite enjoying it, really. It's quite nice.
How is the can in terms of... I can see the design slightly there. Any kind of texture to it? Have they gone the extra mile?
Well, think to yourself, what would you put on a can to get over the meaning of a Czech Pilsner Lager? What would you put on? What would you associate with the Czech Republic?
Just Budapest, I guess. So maybe just put some landmarks from there.
No, 2 cats. I've got 2 cats on my can. Why not? This is what Marks and Spencer's have done. They're like, well, our audience, they like cats. You know, they're going to be family people if they go to Marks and Spencer's. So, yeah, they've teamed that up. 2 cats, 2 black cats on the can of my Czech Pilsner Lager. So that's what I'm sampling tonight.
Fair. I mean, okay. And what have you got to shot? Because obviously you will be getting questions wrong, I imagine.
Nah, mate. I haven't even got anything. Because I'm so confident going into the big quiz later that I'm going to get nothing wrong. I'm going to go 0 for 10 questions. And I'm not going to take a shot tonight. I'm pretty confident with that.
Huh.
I've been brushing up all week on my PlayStation knowledge. I don't think there's anything you could ask me that I wouldn't know about PlayStation.
Well, maybe the questions aren't about PlayStation.
Wow.
Well.
How about yourself, mate? What have you got to drink?
Well, before we move on to me, I think it's just important just to kind of settle where we are in terms of the big quiz. So far, I've won 1. And Phil, you've won 1, even though it was a bullshit tie question that let you win. Whereas I won by a clear landslide victory last time.
It still counts, though. So 1-1-0 at the moment.
So, Spencer, this one could be yours to play for. So you better keep on chugging that fireball so then your mind just levels off at that like kind of good level where you're just used to it. So nothing affects you anymore. You know, like if you take a shot and you're like, oh, I can feel that kind of affecting me. Well, if you get past that, then life just feels normal, right?
I mean, I understand what you mean, but I'm not sure how that helps me with the questions.
Spencer, what you want is that blind confidence that I had during my birthday night out when we were up at the pool hall and I didn't lose a game. There was better people there, but I was just blind, drunk. And I was that confident and I beat everyone on every table. I was unbeatable that night. So that's where you need to get to tonight.
I try my best.
I think that's right. So moving it on to me, what I'm on tonight. So I'm on a bit of a mixture. I can't have an episode 30, a big deal, an absolute blowout, without sampling Estrella. So I've got a 4-pack of my favourite beverage, Estrella. Not sponsored, by the way. God, I wish I was. And then, because I want to get absolutely rat-ass tonight, I'm on the Jack Daniels immediately. As soon as this 4-pack is done, I'm on the JD, and then when we get to shots, so if anyone hits the button, or if we get a question wrong, I got tequila and limes. So we're getting litty tonight. It's going to be pretty mental, this podcast. So, listener, we got a lot to get through. I'm not going to take up any more of your time. Let's move it into what we've been playing.
This time on NPS We Trust, what have the boys been playing?
So guys, it's been 2 weeks, actually a little bit over 2 weeks, because we recorded last time on a Thursday and today we're recording on a Saturday. I want to know what you've been playing. Spencer, tradition dictates we start with yourself. Lay it on me.
Alright, so last episode I played nothing other than some stuff that were questionable at best. That I probably shouldn't have mentioned, but I did. This time, well actually, I've kind of done it again, but we won't talk about that. I think the first game I want to discuss is I finally revisited Kena Bridge of Spirits, and I finished it.
Nice. That was about time because it's how many weeks would you say since you sort of dipped your toe into Kena?
Fuck knows, like at least a month, maybe. But
because you didn't enjoy it on your first play, did you?
I thought it's beautiful. It is a very beautiful game, but the combat was just lackluster. And that was all I found. But then, I'll say, throughout the game, the combat, I basically just used the bow and arrow, because that was all you needed. And then if you had to, smack them with your staff. Whereas the penultimate boss, the boss before last, was the hardest boss I've ever fought in my life. It deflects arrows, so you can't use arrows. And that was everything I knew about the game was gone. Because that's all I'd done the entire game. So I thought, oh fuck, what am I supposed to do? I basically had to learn the game from scratch. And this was like literally like a Dark Souls boss. You had to evade the attacks, wait for your windows. If you attacked too long, he'd counter hit you and it could like wipe you in 2 hits. It was sick.
So has that changed your opinion about the game now?
It has. The game's, albeit still not amazing, it's bumped it up by quite a margin.
I feel like you should just play all your games on hard then.
Yeah, I probably should.
Yeah, never play it on medium, mate, because you won't enjoy it.
Yeah.
You just want a challenge, I think, with most games.
Yeah, you are probably right.
That's what I'm getting from this.
I think there's always a thing that I remember when people were playing Spider-Man, the PS4 version of Spider-Man, and they were saying things like, "Oh, there's no point in using the gadgets. Why would you bother using the gadgets when you could just engage in combat?" And I found a lot of enjoyment in actually using all the gadgets and all different tools and incorporating them into the combat, right? So I think there's something for sometimes just kind of going outside of your comfort zone and thinking, do you know what, I'm just going to explore all the game kind of mechanics rather than stick with what works, because it kind of gets a bit boring. Now, I'm saying this when I play Souls and always stick to the same formula. So I know I'm being a massive hypocrite here, but I think there is something to what you've been saying in terms of kind of expanding your reach and kind of going outside of your comfort zone. So this game originally was your most anticipated game outside of Village. How do you feel about it now? Obviously, we love a rating on the show. How are you going to put it?
It's a game. It's a game. It's a decent game. It's not a great game. It was only 30 quid, so I'll keep that in mind. The story's quite good. It's literally a Pixar movie. It looks like a Pixar movie. The combat's the only thing that lets it down. I can't remember what I gave it last time.
I think you went for a 6.
8. I'll give it an 8. A low 8. Because it is a great game. I don't think it should win any awards other than graphically speaking. Because graphically it is fucking paying. But that is clearly its selling point.
Well, I mean, we'll be going on to the Game Awards later on as part of our topic discussion. But fair play. I mean, this is something that I know I'm going to get to, but it's just kind of sandwiched at the moment between so many things that I've already got in my backlog. I mean, I'm working through the games I'm going to talk about later on in my section, and I still want to get to Guardians for the end of the year. I want to complete Deathloop. There's just too many things for me to be able to dedicate that time. Speaking of time, how long was it?
It was roughly, I would say... Now, this time... this is a bit embarrassing, actually. You know, I said I struggled with that boss. It was like 3 hours.
Wow.
It was like 3 hours.
Even my eyebrows are raising there.
Yeah, it took me ages, because what was I doing? You and I were playing something, Davey. And then you went to bed, and I wasn't tired, so I thought, what should I do? And I thought, fuck it, I'll play Kina. And it was from like 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. I refused to go to bed. I refused to go to sleep. I was like, fuck it, I'm beating this fucking boss. And then that boss wasn't even the last boss. I was like, fuck. So I would say it took me about 12 hours, but it could have been done a lot faster.
Okay, so that's a good game length regardless, isn't it? You know, if it's quicker than that and it's like 7 or 8 hours, that's fab. If it's 12, that's a really good game length as well. So, okay, decent. Not bad. I definitely wouldn't mind checking it out. I think now it's gone on to physical, I might end up picking it up in a couple of months' time, just before we move into Death Month, probably. So maybe around January time, I'll probably get to it. Phil, is this anything that you're actually interested in with Kina?
No, not really. I know this game has been quite highly regarded. I hear a lot about it on social media, and it has been nominated for a few different categories within the Game Awards. I know it's high on the sort of art direction, which is what Spencer sort of talks about. It does look a very beautiful game. But yeah, nothing really grabs me with this. You know, if Spencer was turning around and he was saying this is a 10 out of 10, I might have checked it out. But after this recent rating, yeah, I think I'm going to give it a miss. My back catalogue at the moment is massive. You know, I got quite a few games for my birthday. I know people are going to be buying me games for Christmas. So yeah, I'm up to here with games at the moment.
Fair. So, I mean, what else have you been playing then, Spence?
Well, there are 2 other games I've been playing. The one's with you, so I'll go to the one I'm playing on my own. Actually, you're kind of involved as well, because you had a bit of a pickle with this. Halo Infinite multiplayer beta. They launched it. I was very surprised that it's on Steam, because it's a Microsoft game. I thought it would have been only on the Xbox store, and I don't think I'd have even played it if it was. So it was quite smart of them to put it on Steam. And I downloaded it, and it is great. I honestly love it. It's really fun. I don't think there's a lot to it at the moment, but it is just a beta. I can see them adding more. and it just feels great. The movement's great, the shooting, the animations. It actually looks a lot better than I thought it would, even though I have to play the game on like medium because I can't run it too well on my shit PC. But it's just a great game. I'm looking forward to playing it more.
Are we allowed to say that word on this podcast without taking a shot? Because it feels like a swear word, doesn't it?
I mean, I'll take one. I'm gagging.
I mean, the thing about it is, right, whenever we talk about them, we're always saying we want them to do well, all right? We want them to have a game. Spencer, you eat a fucking McDonald's?
It's a meal chicken.
Audio listeners, you've missed out on this. I mean, the thing about it is now we're live on Spotify video, so you can actually watch us through your Spotify now. Hello. So you're not just solely restricted to YouTube. But he just pulls a fucking, I thought it was like a fillet of fish. He just pulls it out of his arse. Just starts munching in the middle of the podcast. I mean, say what you want about us, listeners, but we are totally professional. So, I mean, I got to make sure that I don't ask a question of him anytime soon.
We are never going to change as well.
Yeah, but never.
If we get to like 500 episodes, we're still going to be swilling lager. Spencer's still going to be, shot in his shots and eating burgers in the middle of the show. So this is what we are, guys. Don't try and change us.
Don't fucking judge us, all right? Anyway, moving it back on point. So my Halo experience was very different than Spencer's. I had an absolute nightmare with it. Basically, what happened to me is that I downloaded the game, no problem at all. I had a brand new PC that just arrived, totally built for editing, but it could run the game in high to medium settings, 4K 60, no bother at all. And you're right, Spence, it does look really pretty. I don't think it's anything that really warrants the budget this game has had, which is 500 million. It doesn't look that good. It doesn't look great. I don't think it looks as good as COD Vanguard, but it looks good. It looks good. The art direction's brilliant. From what I played, for the split second that it worked, was really fun. However, the issue is, I cannot use a fucking keyboard and mouse, right? WASD, to me, is like someone speaking Spanish. I have no idea. I have literally no idea. None at all. Yeah, I can't use WASD to save my fucking life. I can barely say it, right? I remember when I played AVP2 on PC and I used the up, down, left, right keys. And that's how I played, that and the mouse. So going into WASD, I'm hitting everything else. It's like saying press F to reload or whatever. I'm like, where the fuck's F? Like, I can touch type, right? I can touch type. But when I got my hand in like some little tiny like fucking triangle, I can't figure out where anything is. It just throws me off. Anyway, so I had a nightmare with that. So I thought, right, I'll just plug in my PlayStation 4 pad, plug in my PS5 pad. We'll just go from there. Steam have a really good setup for PlayStation 4 or PS5. They got their own presets. However, Halo just wasn't using them properly. I was getting huge amounts of drift. I was getting it so that none of my buttons were really syncing. There was a lot of delay, a lot of lag. And it just got to the point where I spent an hour, a fucking hour, trying to get my controls working and then just dipped. And I'm kind of attributing it down to a couple of things. One, it being a beta. Two, maybe I need to plug it in because I was doing it on Bluetooth. So maybe there might be something there. But as it stands right now, I've had a pretty poor experience with this game. I am going to persevere. I am going to try and stick with it because if I can get this working, I'll fucking love it. Halo's sick.
What did you say? Oh, I remember what you did whilst we were playing. Whilst you were testing keyboard and mouse, you used WASD, and I told you F was melee, and you went, F! And you took your right hand off of the mouse and pressed F with your right hand.
I fucking hate PCs, man. I hate gaming on PC. It's just fucking tragic. It's absolutely tragic. Oh, I wish I could do it, mind.
You could in literally like half an hour.
It's too much work. I've got too much muscle memory built into these controllers. These hands are like a tool of God when they're on a controller. They're a fucking tool of pure destruction, right? Sent in just to rain havoc on all these scrubbos. Put me on a keyboard and mouse and I just lose all my immortality. I just come down to a mere mortal and I become an absolute scrub. Even the bots were teabagging me. There's something to say about that, right? They were savage. It was absolutely savage. Spencer, let's move on to the last game you've been playing. You've been playing Resident Evil Outbreak with me, haven't you?
I have, mate. I have.
I want to hear about it. What do you feel about Resident Evil Outbreak File 2?
Right, well, like I said, last episode was all I talked about was questionable games. This is another emulator situation. Because it had to be. But we did it, obviously, because there's a fan-made server online that lets you play online with your friends. Lets you get into a room. You can actually play Outbreak File 2 or Outbreak the way it was intended. Yeah, this game's sick. It literally just feels like we're playing RE1, except I've got half the inventory space. I have an infection rate that's going to kill me if I take too long, which, if I had that in RE1, let me tell you, I'd have died. And I get to play with my friends, and the zombies teleport every now and then. That's the downside. You do have a zombie elephant. He was a bit of a pain in the arse as well. But aside from teleporting zombies, because that was obviously just an internet thing, and half the inventory, it was so fucking fun. I haven't played Resident Evil in a while, other than RE3 make. So going back to like an oldie just felt fucking sick. And having half the inventory space, I thought it would suck. But then there's the whole thing of talking to each other, finding out where you are, meeting up and swapping your items. One of you knows where an item goes, the other person finds it across the frickin' zoo. And then you're like, I know where that goes. Meet me here, we'll trade. You go do this, I'll do this, we'll meet up. And then you do it, you meet up for the final fight. And then you're like, fuck, shit, fuck, kill him, you need to pick me up, I'm bleeding, please. And then one of you survives.
One of the best things we did, I think, was in our play sessions, I reached out to my YouTube audience and we had another guy join us from America. And so we were playing 3-player. And that was just so much fun, that entire session, because we were all just like split off doing our own thing, like all just met up. We're like, right, what's the plan? What do we need to do? Oh, we need to get 3 items spread across the map. Right, okay, let's all just disperse. If anyone gets into trouble, shout out, we'll all just meet up. And we all just went off and just got it done. And it was just so fun hearing someone like, he's on me, run. And they're just running past you. And you're like, oh shit. It was just a snap back to like a bygone era that I missed out on at the time back on PS2. And I know I said it a couple of episodes ago when we talked about Resident Evil Outbreak getting a remake or a remaster, whatever it is. This game needs it so bad because Outbreak File 1 and File 2 just still hold up to this day. And I got to echo the thoughts you had. I had such a blast with it. And it was so fun, especially like the locations you go, like with the zoo, you go to the Arkley Mountains, you go to all the kind of default ones, like in terms of like a lab and things like that. But it's just a great way to be able to experience classic Resident Evil with your buddies. And I had a brilliant time. I'm glad you did too.
I've got a question for you both. As much as you really enjoy Resident Evil Outbreak, how would you feel if Capcom were to push forward with this idea of doing kind of like online multiplayer Resident Evil, but then based it with the first-person perspective of Resident Evil 7 and 8? How would you feel about that as the progression of the series, rather than them trying to retrofit an old-school Resident Evil into an online space?
You can take this one first, Spence.
I think it'd be fine. I wouldn't want them to do it with mainline games. So I don't think I'd want them to change that much. The mainline games are an experience that I want to have with myself and hold.
What I mean is Outbreak File 3 would be in first person.
I don't know. I feel like it'd have to be. It's scary already. It's scary just in the situations you're in. Resident Evil's a scary game. Kind of. First person, in those kind of settings, with people coming through doors behind you, you got to think, if you're in first person, and it's just your teammate, right? But he comes in a door behind you, you're going to be like, oh, what the fuck? And you're going to turn around. And it's just your mate being like, oh, it's me. You're like, oh, sound, turn around, zombie.
So in my opinion, what it would become is a more complex version of Left 4 Dead or Back 4 Blood, because there'd be item management within it instead of you just running and gunning, right? I genuinely feel like that should be the future of Resident Evil.
It sounds great, but it doesn't. I don't know. For me, I don't get a Resident Evil, like, the name, you know? I feel it sounds like a fantastic idea, but
I think personally it would work. I think it would work fine. I mean, Resident Evil 7 especially was just so good in terms of bringing all the classic design elements in terms of an item box, limited inventory space, and putting it in a new perspective, and it not losing anything from that. It not losing any of the horror, not losing anything of the kind of tension that comes from having your own resources. Because as much as Resident Evil's a horror game, and it is a horror game, most of the fear, in my opinion, from Resident Evil comes from your decision making and your choice. It's always what I'm talking about on my reviews on YouTube. It's not jump scares, it's not like overt horror and gore. It's more about the fact that you think, I'm going into a situation, am I prepared enough? Have I got the right things on me to get through this? And that's kind of the pressure. That you don't have auto saves, you don't have anything like that. So you know, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to probably waste an hour if I fuck this up. At the minimum, right? And it's those kind of minute-to-minute choices that mess you up. And if you can get that base experience and put that into a first-person perspective, there's no saves. It's just scenario-based like it is in Outbreak 1 and Outbreak File 2. That would work. That would work really, really, really well. And I don't think it would take anything at all from it. I think it would just enhance the control and make it a little bit easier to play for newer people, because the tank controls aren't for everyone.
Yeah, I echo everything you say there, Davey. And honestly, I can't see them making an Outbreak File 3 with the original controls. It would have to be with the new controls and the new setup, because that is what Resident Evil is now. They're never going to go back.
No, as much as we as fans want them to go back to tank controls and want them to lean into either dynamic cameras or fixed camera angles, it's a hill that you're going to just die on. So there's no point in spending your time on it. You're best off evolving with the series. And what they've done with 7 and 8, in my opinion, has been really, really good. I mean, it's a much better experience than 5 and 6 was. So I'm happy where the series is moving to. If they could do it more like Resident Evil 2 or Resident Evil 3 Remake, that would be the golden nugget for me. That would be perfect. But, to be honest, I'd just be happy to see Outbreak return in any form. So I don't care. They could just give me whatever and I'm going to buy it. I honestly don't care. So is that everything for you, Spence?
Yeah, mate. It's more or less everything for me. Phil, mate, what have you been playing?
Well, I've been pretty busy over the last couple of weeks, purely because it's been my birthday and I've been out quite a lot, celebrating, having lots of nice food, meeting up with friends, drinks, and just genuinely enjoying life at the moment. So I haven't really had a lot of time to play games, but I did spend an evening with you lads playing a multiplayer game, which we'll talk about in a minute. I think we'll leave that to last because that's a PS Plus classic. That's another use of PS Plus, which is amazing for me. Finally getting a little bit of use out of it. But I also spent a bit more time in Death Stranding. Obviously, it's my favorite game. Pretty much probably of all time at the moment. I'm really, really enjoying it. I've completed all the Half-Life and Cyberpunk missions. I think I mentioned that last time on the show. I was sort of working through them. But I've seen those through to completion now, so it's just lots of items and lots of power-ups for Norman Regis as he goes through the Death Stranding. So I'm super overpowered now. And I thought this was the right time to approach the new story missions, which are famed within the expansion of Resident Evil. Not Resident Evil. Fuck.
Thank God there ain't no button, mate. Otherwise you would just hit that just then.
I've just got to mention it wherever I go. What I was trying to say, obviously lots of people are talking about these new missions, which are in Death Stranding Director's Cut. And yeah, I've started them, played the first couple of new missions. So we got a new location, which is the ruined factory. We've got a new weapon, which they arm you with. This is the Mazer. This is a useful short-range stealth weapon. So it's very Metal Gear vibes to it. We've got some new equipment as well, which is a support skeleton, which I could imagine would be quite handy in early game, but not for me, because I've obviously got the later skeletons, which is the all-terrain skeletons that you get later on in the missions. With the new story stuff, this all becomes available in episode 2 of the game. So you don't really need to go to late game to actually play it. It starts at Distribution Center west of Capital Knot City. So it's in the early section of the game. And it starts off Order 77 and then you move to Order 78. I've been streaming this. I don't know if you guys have sort of seen that up on Twitch at the moment. I don't know. I don't think the links come up on Twitter, but now and again, you know, I will be posting out that I am streaming this game, but it is a hell of a game to watch because it's action-packed.
Do you know, I actually saw that you were streaming it twice, and I clicked on it both times, and both times you were just in the snow running. And I watched it for 10 minutes. I was like, this game just does not work as a streaming game. Like, both times I was on lunch. I was like, oh, Phil's streaming. Wow, let's have a look, see what he's doing. Clicked on it. Oh, Death Stranding. Oh, I wouldn't mind having a look. Both times just in a mountain, in snow, walking really slowly. And I was like, yep. I remember when you used to stream this game, and I was like, why? Why are you streaming this?
Why not, mate? You know, I enjoy it, and obviously with the PlayStation 5, it's very easy to stream. I haven't got the camera or anything like the mic or anything set up. I just click the button to stream, and I have my laptop next to me just in case anyone does jump in the chat. I have had a few people jump in and sort of talk to me a little bit. So it is kind of nice. I like that kind of immediacy of Twitch where you get some instant feedback off people. And of course, if you get stuck, there's a lot of people on Twitch who know what they're doing with games, you know. Death Stranding isn't a game which really is that difficult. You know, you generally just follow the missions, but there is a lot of time where you are just walking. So it is quite nice to have a little bit of company from time to time.
Before we move on to anything else you've been playing potentially, you mentioned in that Death Stranding's moved up to be your favourite game of all time. So it's overtaken Portal 2, it's overtaken every other game you've ever played.
Well, yeah, I think my top 3 was always Resident Evil 2. I would say it's probably my favourite one. Then Portal 2, sorry. Spent.
Thank you.
You always bring me up on that. I always put an S on there by accident. And then, of course, Death Stranding Director's Cut. But I haven't finished the game, so it's kind of hard to say that's my favourite without actually finishing it to 100%. But it is very much looking like that is my favourite game of all time at the moment.
Wow.
Damn.
I'll tell you what, that's big praise. And listeners, if you're listening to this right when this episode goes live, there's a sale on currently for the Black Friday sale, which runs up until the end of November. I think it's the 29th of November. And you can pick this up for £35, I believe, for the entire game, the director's cut, everything. Get on it. Just do it. This game sold kind of abysmally, really, for how good it is. It needs all the help it can get. And to be fair, if there's a game that demands a sequel from PlayStation's back catalogue, this is it. So go out there, support this game, pick it up, get yourself a cheap deal, and just enjoy yourself. Because it is, as Phil's saying, a fantastic experience.
Just to back that up, just to echo what you're saying there, Davey. Also, the Amazon Prime sale is on at the moment, and Death Stranding is $32.99, so slightly cheaper than the offering on PlayStation, because I may or may have not bought it for one of you lads for Christmas.
Oh, we'll have to look
But
forward
we'll have
to
to
that.
wait and see.
So, have you played anything else then, Phil, or is it just Death Stranding?
It's just Death Stranding and partying. That's my 2 weeks, really. Apart from the couple of hours that we spent playing that PS Plus game.
So, before we move it on to me, should we talk about that PlayStation Plus game? It makes sense to lead on from that. We played First Class Trouble, the game that just about, I think, made it into our Shag, Marry, Kills last time. And it was kind of by like a mercy.
It was actually one of my shags. It was one of my picks. So you can thank me for that.
Guys, we spent about 4 hours, I'd probably say, all told, in that game now. What do you think? Phil, let's start with you.
So my favourite part of the game probably wasn't what the game was really intended for. I just like griefing people. I thought it was absolutely hilarious going up to people and giving them hugs, because the hugs last for ages. So giving people hugs and pushing people over, that was my amusement during that evening. I thought it was an interesting game, but is it something I really want to revisit? Of course, if your lads are playing and we've got some spare time, I it's a free game. We already own it. So why wouldn't I play it? But I wouldn't go out of my way to play it, I don't think.
Okay. So, Spence, before I get your opinion, do you want to kind of describe what this game is for those that maybe haven't checked it out or haven't redeemed it on PlayStation Plus?
Sure. So, I'm sure a lot of the audience have played Among Us, because it was kind of a phenomenon. This game is essentially the same kind of thing, but there's quite a lot more depth to it. So some of you are residents of like a flying ship in space kind of thing. And then the other people are humanoids, which are kind of fake robots. They're robots that are pretending to be a human. And those are the imposters. And so the whole plan is to kind of escape the ship or find out who the humanoids are and get them killed or thrown off the ship. And the humanoids' plan is to just make sure they kill enough of the residents in order to win. So it's a lot of the humans trying to fix the oxygen because the oxygen's depleting the entire time you're playing. So you're trying to do that. You're trying to figure out who you can trust. You need to pick up weapons and stuff to protect yourself and items to kind of help you learn more about the game. It's just sick. It's a sick game.
You obviously enjoyed it, Spence, but do you think it's balanced? I don't think we ever won as the humans during the night.
We did.
So you're saying it's mine and Willard's fault?
I'm not saying it's that, but I'm saying if you have a competent team and you're playing with the intent to play the game as intended, rather than being like, oh, I'm just going to push him over and run away, see if he trusts me after that. I think if you're playing with the intention to win and playing it as you should, it's balanced. Because the humanoids need a weapon to kill you. They can't kill you. Only the humans can actually kill. So that's how you kind of figure it out.
It's like Among Us, but like you said, actually, just with a bit of depth, right? That's probably actually the best way to describe it, actually. Because there's a lot of... It's very multifaceted. You've got the air, which both sides are kind of hoarding to a certain extent, because if the imposters can steal all the air before the humans can put it in, they're going to win. The ultimate aim is to shut down a computer in the heart of everything, and it turns out we just never got there. We just literally never got there because games would end before that. In terms of this balance thing, the hardest thing is trust, especially among a friend group. Because you all know that you're all bastards. So you're all going to fuck each other over. You've got to do random tasks around the ship, just like with Among Us. But they're a lot more kind of in-depth and a lot more co-op based, rather than it being solo things you just go off and do on your own. And Spence just turned around to me on the game that we won. And he was like, this guy, I'm telling you, he's an imposter. And Spence helped me on a couple of tasks, but I want fully trust in him. I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna take the chance. I'm just gonna take a chance. And we choked this guy out. And yeah, he turned out to be the imposter. And we just won. And it was just a great feeling. And there is something there that I think Among Us just doesn't do quite right. I think Among Us is great for kids, and it's great for people that just want to dive in and not have too much fun in the actual game. It's just in the conversations that's fun. Whereas in this, it's the actual gameplay, and the conversations are kind of more secondary compared to that. Or that's how I felt about it anyway. But I got to say, I was really blown away by this. I think the trailer really did a disservice to this game. And it was a lot more fun, a lot more detailed than was originally shown in that PlayStation showcase a couple of weeks ago, where it looked like fucking garbage Among Us. It actually turns out to be a better game than Among Us, in my opinion. I'm going to go out on record and rate this right now. I'm going to rate this a solid 7.5 out of 10, maybe an 8, because I actually think this game is brilliant. How are you faring on this then, Phil? Where would you go with it?
I mean, I don't think this is a game that I'm really going to play at any length. As I said, if I got the invite, which I do now and again from you, because you know I'll probably just grief in this game, I'd probably just hit it with a 6 out of 10. Because it's okay. It's better than Among Us, as you've said. And yeah, sure, if I did get the invite, as I said, I would join you guys for another game, but I wouldn't be playing it without you.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. What about yourself, Spence?
I kind of echo the same thoughts as Phil, whereas it's definitely not a game I'll play on my own. It's 100% a game for the boys. But I did really like this game, and I think I would have rated it an 8. Except I did have bugs with the game.
Hello.
When walls are spinning all around you, you can't properly aim your gun. You find you're falling through the world. I'll hunt you down 'cause you're a bug. I find the bugs, the big bad bugs. The Bug Hunter. Of course you found bugs, mate. You couldn't play a game on this podcast and not have a bug. I swear to God. So what did you encounter with this one then?
It was to be fair, it was a fucking annoying one as well. It was just randomly when we started playing, my voice chat would just say in the wrong channel, and there was no option for me to change it. So I couldn't hear anyone, they couldn't hear me, and I had to close the game and reopen it. And it was about I'd say a 60-40 chance it would happen again, because I think it happened more often than it didn't, which is criminal because it didn't happen to anyone else at all, just me. Yeah.
I don't think you're the only bug hunter in this trio tonight, because I found a bug.
I find the bugs, the big bad bugs. The Bug Hunter.
So there was definitely sort of things that you would do as a duo within that game. So you would both go up and you would have some sort of clue that you'd have to communicate to each other, some sort of symbol. And there was many times that I would go up to that spot to try and decode that problem, and the person that I needed to speak to wasn't able to speak to me. So it was really weird. It wasn't like a constant bug. It wasn't like when I went to it, I couldn't talk to anyone. It was just certain people I couldn't and certain people I could.
I had the same bug as well, surprisingly. Davey's trying to scream that he did too.
I did, me too.
Play the song. He wants the song as well.
I don't want the song. I'm done with the song. But yeah, it happened to me too. It must be a consistent one.
It's not. It definitely is a consistent bug, but it wasn't a case of that person you couldn't hear them speak when you tried to do the thing, because I was doing it with Willard, and all we had to do was hop off of the machine and hop back on, and it'd work. I think it's literally just there's a 50-50 chance it works or it doesn't. So if it doesn't, just hop off, hop back on, and it might fix it.
Well, it's been a week or so since, maybe 2. So
Yeah.
I'd imagine that's probably fixed by now.
I mean, that game's been out for a long time. It just only just came to PlayStation. But it might be a case of PlayStation in-game voice chat. Because we haven't said, but this game, different to Among Us, has proximity voice chat built in, whereas in Among Us, it's only in the meetings. So this game, you're constantly talking to the people near you, and it adds that depth of trust. Because you're hearing them, and you're like, yeah, I think, yeah.
And what's also sick is that the guys who are like killing everyone, they've got their own voice channel.
Yeah.
So you can hold left on the D-pad and you end up just speaking to the other person directly. So you can communicate what you're going to do. Please distract him. I need to grab this weapon. Okay, yeah. I'll do it. And it just adds just so many extra layers of depth to the actual gameplay that it's just phenomenal. But I think we gushed about this for quite a bit, actually, and I'm surprised that we're all pretty hype on it. Even you, Phil, who hates anything to do with PlayStation Plus, you're giving it a 6, which isn't bad. That's a far cry from Maquette, only a few episodes ago. Probably about 10 episodes now. Anyway, so for myself, guys, I've only got one game to talk about, and that is Call of Duty Vanguard. Oh, shit! What a fucking game. I cannot believe that I've become that guy now that is a COD evangelist. I fucking love this game. I absolutely adore it. I've done all the single player content now. I'm just doing my final run through on Veteran to get the last of the trophies. And I'm level 50 on multiplayer now. Just about there. I fucking love this game. I absolutely adore it. I think that multiplayer on this is better than Cold War, which I sweated last year. You need to join me on this, guys. You just need to. And it is definitely the next game that I platinum. Definitely, without a shadow of a doubt. So, get it, join me, let's play. Spencer, it's the free PlayStation Plus weekend of Call of Duty this weekend. You and me had a good session on it tonight. We haven't played since the beta. What are your thoughts on it?
Right, well, I love it. It's COD. I love COD. I'm the same as you. However, the time to kill is insane, and currently there's a glitch in the game, not one that I found, one that other people found. So no need for a song. But there's a glitched loadout which just lets you kill people in 2 shots with a machine gun. So those shots are like, and that's it. You're dead. And you need to be a high level to have the attachments to make this loadout. So I'm joining a free weekend as level 1 and trying to play multiplayer where my gun kills in 8 to 12 shots and theirs kills me in 2. And I'm still doing fine. I'm doing okay. I'm goated. However, I'm having a much harder time than I think I would if this class either didn't exist or if I had it. Because if I had this class, no one would be safe.
Yeah, you're right. There's this bug at the moment where if you've got an attachment, which is a specific bullet, a Russian bullet, 20 round mag, which increases your damage but decreases the amount of ammunition you got in a magazine, and then you got a specialty called Vital on, which increases the amount of critical hit zones. So instead of being just headshots, it's upper torso as well. It stacks. Instead of it being like one or the other, it stacks them. So on a certain type of weapon, on 3 weapons so far, which is the 1911 pistol, the M100, I think it is, which is the MP, whatever it is, MP40 machine gun, the little submachine gun, and the STG, which is what I use. And and it's brutal. It's savage. And I got to say, I was doing okay, just like you, until I unlocked it. And now I'm fighting fire with fire. Now I don't want it changed. Because now I'm sourcing people. And especially this weekend, I've gone from being just in, maybe at the base, right, of the mountain, to I am on that tippy top of Krakatoa, boys. I'm about to plummet into the volcano and get blasted off into oblivion because I'm fucking sick. And what's helped me this game is I found a gun called I think it's called an M1 Garand. Is that right?
It's the M1 Garand,
yeah. That right? It's like a single shot gun, and it is a fucking destroyer. And it's busted, and no one knows it's busted yet, but it's only a matter of time until they do, because that gun is sick. Honestly, guys, I can't gush about this enough. I honestly feel like, in terms of the single player, the story isn't as good as last year's entry. It's not as good as Cold War in terms of the story, but in terms of the actual enjoyment factor that goes throughout it, it's breakneck pace. It's exactly what you want from Call of Duty. It's not like, people getting massacred and crying for their mother like they're saying the next one's going to be. It's just dumb fun. And that's exactly what I want from my Call of Duty campaign. Listener, we're going to talk about it in quick news. It hasn't sold as well as previous entries. Don't be put off by the fact it's World War II. The TTK, time to kill, as Spencer's saying, is ridiculous. It's out the arse. And the game's just fun as fuck. And it really rewards you being active in combat, rather than Modern Warfare, which was very much slower paced Call of Duty game. But those are my thoughts on it.
You're not going to talk about what we wagered?
Oh, Spencer! Your sheepish little look and your omission there of potential guilt has reminded me. So yeah, we had a wager in our last game of Call of Duty that whoever got the most kills, the loser would take a shot. So who lost that?
Yeah, me.
And then we ran it back, didn't we? Did another one?
Yeah, we did.
Who lost that?
It might have been me.
All right, well, do you want to get your shots done and then we'll move on to quick news?
Sure.
2 shots before we even get to the big quiz.
Yeah.
I know.
Not looking good for you, Spence, tonight, boy.
To be fair, I've been gagging for
Enjoy
a
it.
shot, but then as soon as I started pouring it, I thought, fuck me.
And he's done it, listener. He has done it. Nice one, Spence. Oh, that look of regret is exactly what we need on this podcast. So following that, it's time for quick news. Quick news.
Yes. Yeah. Quick news. Spider-Man is finally joining the Avengers game on November 30th for PS4 and PS5. But would that actually make you interested in the game? I'm not too sure.
No.
Call me Usain Bolt, 'cause it's quick news. Unity is acquiring Weta Digital, Peter Jackson's visual effects company behind entertainment giants such as Lord of the Rings, Planet of the Apes, Avatar, Game of Thrones, and more. They are acquiring this for $1.63 billion.
Sheesh. Quick news. PlayStation Direct is now available in the UK and parts of Europe. It's useful for those that still want a new PS5 or a particular handset you're looking for. They're also selling games. Check your emails. I had an invite through. I know Spence did too. Check them out. It's worth a look. The prices are a bit extortionate on the games, but in terms of finding a controller that you really want, or the illustrious PS5, for those of you too lazy to look for it, you can find it on there. Take a look.
Because that's what I'm talking about. It's quick news. Sony is cutting the PS5 target by 1 million due to the chip shortages. People are obviously finding it hard to find a PS5 out in the wilds currently, so this might make it worse. I'm sorry, guys.
They call me the Crimson Flash. That's what they call the Flash, isn't it?
I don't know if they call him the Crimson Flash. I mean, is there any point in the Crimson if he's just the Flash, if that's his name?
Yeah, it's a red Flash, isn't it? It's a red Flash. I'm sure that's what they call him. Or the Crimson Blue or something.
You're not on about the Crimson Chin, are you?
No.
Here comes the Crimson Chin.
No. Although there's one great clip that I can't say involving the Crimson Chin.
Quick news.
Great news. Fuck it. Jump Force is being removed from sale in the US. The game will be removed from digital stores in the Americas on the 7th of the 2nd, 2022. Jump Force is currently £5.49 on the PlayStation Store until the 29th of November. So if you're planning on getting this game, now should be the time.
Quick news. Call of Duty Vanguard's launch sales in the UK are down by 40% over last year's entry, the latest GSD data shows. Physical retail sales dropped 20% over last year's game, which was Call of Duty Cold War, whereas digital sales fell 44%. Now, in saying this, it's still the second best performing game launch of the year, behind FIFA 2022. Personally, I think the reason behind this is multi-pronged. Increased competition in Battlefield, Halo, and Warzone, as well as people waiting for the PS5 and Series X upgrades, as the game didn't ship with an upgrade path outside of the cross-gen edition at an increased cost of $64.99. We'll have to check out to see how the competition fares before we can accurately assess the reason.
Quick news. Ubisoft has announced its first entertainment center. Fuck.
That one's great for the watchers, mate. That one's great for the watchers.
That was fucking... I thought we were in a game that can't be mentioned then for a second. I thought you were just going to burst out my fucking screen.
Right. I got to do it again now. I can't not do this, right?
You don't have to. You can do that. You
No.
didn't leave to quick news.
I'll do it. I can do it again. Don't laugh. Turn your mic off. You can laugh. Turn the mic. Quick news. Ubisoft has announced its first first entertainment center in 2025, and it's also developing a full-scale theme park.
Was that it? Is that the news?
Yeah. I just wanted to say it really like dead.
All that for that news? Oh my god.
Oh, Christ.
My face hurts.
Oh, I might. Fucking quick news, boys. The controversial military shooter 6 Days in Fallujah has been delayed. So remember, listeners, this is the game that was originally shown ages ago, then shelved because it's too controversial, and then picked back up again, and now it's been kind of delayed again. So, are we ever going to see this game? I'm not sure. Basically, what it is, it's an Iraq team of soldiers who used phosphorus, apparently, on a load of civilians. So, we'll have to see what actually happens. I personally am actually quite looking forward to experiencing this game. And apparently, the directors have come out and said it's really respectful. They've interviewed loads of different Iraqi soldiers and Iraqi people that were involved in this conflict. I'm open to checking this out. Although, expect a huge amount of think pieces from Kotaku and the like, because it is going to be very controversial.
Clearly, I'm not as fast as I once thought, because it was my turn and Davey went anyway. So, acknowledging that, this is mediocre news. We've had an update from Capcom about Pragmata. They have said, our team is hard at work on the project. But, to ensure that this will be an unforgettable adventure, we've decided to shift the release to 2023. In the meantime, they showed off brand new artwork on Twitter, and they said thank you for your patience.
Right, boys, can I get a beat?
What kind of beat do you want? Boom, 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 boom. Bit of Michael Jackson. Boom, 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 boom.
Yo,
boom,
yo,
boom,
yo,
boom,
yo.
boom, boom,
This is quick
boom,
news.
Boom, 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 boom.
We have big news about Sifu. The release date has been moved, and I quote, "We're approaching Gold Master on Sifu, and we're happy to announce that we're moving the release date up by 2 weeks. Sifu will be released on February 8th, 2022. Fire emoji, fire emoji." Which means the release of Sifu, it won't coincide with Horizon Forbidden West, which is February 18th, and Elden Ring on February 25th.
Quick news! Faceplates have been finally patented by Sony. We've been waiting a long time to see what they're going to be doing with this, seeing as they've shut down so many different places that have tried to put out their own plates, including most recently D-Brand. So, does this mean, guys, we might finally see plates on the horizon? I'm hoping so. Let's see if we can get some God of War faceplates. Yes, please.
They call me Sonic the Hedgehog because I'm quick and it's quick news. So, we've got a new platform fighter coming. Weird, seeing as it's come right off the death of Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl. But this game is Multiversus. This is a Warner Brothers platform fighter. It's supposedly coming to PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC in 2022 with cross-platform support. The game's also rumoured to feature dedicated server-based rollback netcode and will feature characters such as Arya Stark, Bugs Bunny, Super Saiyan Shaggy, and Batman.
This one's for the visual listeners. Quick news! PlayStation 5 players across Europe and beyond prefer retail to digital. With more than 10 million boxes sold since launch, compared to 7 million digital purchases according to the game sales data. So well done, guys, for buying physical.
That makes all of us too. We're all physical buyers here.
It's true.
So we must be in the majority for once, which is quite nice.
For once.
I was going to say that intro to your thing. I was going to say, this is what my dick sees.
Oh, you audio listeners, you're missing out. You're missing out. Find us on YouTube or just click on the video link in Spotify. Right, guys, that is all the quick news for today. So let's move it on to Rumour Has It.
Kick it! You wake up with a rumour and you don't want to go. You ask if it's confirmed and they still say no.
I'll say it again. I fucking love that jingle.
Chun 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 chun.
So sick. So, boys, Rumour Has It. that Rockstar are going to be releasing a GTA 4 remaster set for 2023. It's planned to be released on the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. It's going to be released with episodes from Liberty City, and all I want to know is, do you care? Do you think it's real? And also, do you think it's a great idea considering the drama they've just had with the trilogy remaster? What are your thoughts?
I wasn't a massive fan of GTA 4, if I'm completely honest. I really just didn't vibe with it. I thought the story was good, but the gameplay-wise just didn't hook me the same way that the original trilogy did back on the PS2. So seeing this be remastered again doesn't mean an awful lot to me. Would I pick that up just on the basis that it's a great remaster with no issues at all? Probably not. I probably wouldn't revisit it. With what's happened since, with this recent trilogy that's just gone out, absolutely fucking no way. This re-release has been an absolute failure. Absolute. But before we dive into kind of deeper thoughts on that, what are you thinking about it, Phil? Are you interested in this at all?
Well, my thoughts on it, this isn't one of the popular GTAs, really, is it? It didn't even get into the IGN game of all time. Of course, we had San Andreas, and I think it was GTA 5 that got into it, wasn't it, Spence?
It was me, yes, it was.
Yeah, and, GTA 4 came out in 2008. Has it really been long enough to do a reimagining, a remake of this game just yet? I'm not entirely sure. The graphics aren't that bad if you do go back and play it.
I suppose the hardest thing about it is, those on like the Xbox side, this wouldn't be an issue, but for us on PlayStation, PS3 generation is basically inaccessible to us. So it does make it really difficult to play this now if you're a PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 owner. I think there's definitely enough time that's passed to warrant giving it a spruce up, right, and giving it like a HD coat of paint. Is anyone really craving for it, though? That's the big thing. I mean, GTA games always sell like a fucking... They're a monster, right? Like, everything should just evade anything Rockstar are doing, just get out the fucking way of it. Because they put so much time and effort into their products that they're incredible. And I wouldn't mind bringing it back to what's happened now with this latest drama. Have you guys been following this about these releases of the original trilogy?
I've seen a lot. I've not been following it. It's just been happening upon my Twitter, and I've happened to see a lot of it.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly the same for me. Like GTA has never really been one of my sort of favorite franchises, really. But I've seen a lot of chat about it and seen a lot of pictures of some very weird looking character models.
From what I understand, by the reason for this, it's all to do with there was a mobile port of the original trilogy a little while ago, quite a number of years ago. And they've used that as the basis for this and then just done a full AI upscale render on it. And so what that meant is that where people haven't actually got involved with this, a load of textures have been swapped. There's like pizza shops that have like Roy's Pizza and then all the pictures of burgers, right? Like there's all these just differences where it's just an AI has tried its best to do the job and it just hasn't done it very well. And then what they've done is on top of that, then they've changed the art style of it to make everyone look like there's some kind of fucking goblin. It's just horrendous. People look awful. People who, I remember as a kid, I was crushing on the Chinese bird in GTA 3. And now she looks like she's got some kind of eye defect. She looks like she's like proper cross-eyed. There's there's loads of issues. I remember in Vice City when I was walking around as a girl with massive tits in an American flag bikini. And now she looks like she's a burn victim. It's an absolute travesty what they've done to this. Because these aren't just any old games, right? These aren't just like games that nobody really gives a fuck about and they just put out again, like Destroy All Humans or something. The thing this has taken a worse turn than Destroy All Humans should tell you something here about the low effort that's been put in. Because Destroy All Humans had a ground up remake on PS4. Ground up. Totally every single asset redone. Just like they've done for Shadow of the Colossus and same for the game that can't be mentioned too. They just completely just reimagined it, redid it for the new generation, and put so much effort into a game that kind of got a cult status behind it, but no one was ever saying it was the best game on that console. Whereas anyone, if they were discussing the best games on PS2, would have to mention the GTA trilogy and the best games on that generation. It's up there. So it might not be in my top 3 without no chance. You got Metal Gear 2 and 3 in there, for God's sake. But it's up there. It's definitely up there. And to see it be done this dirty is really disheartening, especially from a company like Rockstar, who is so known for going over and above on delivering quality content. That's just my take on it anyway.
Yeah, it seems weird to have that like drop off. Was it actually Rockstar that did it, guys? You know, like I'm not fully clued up on this, and I'm sure some of the listeners aren't either. So just to bring some people in, you know, the Grand Theft Auto trilogy, that was Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, correct, guys? Yeah, and was it Rockstar that actually put this back out?
Yeah, it was Rockstar who put it back out. They hired an external studio to actually port these and to get these up and running, which I can find now for you if you want me to.
Why don't you Google that, Davey?
I don't have a fucking clue. Nothing else to do, so that's all ask Google. Right, I just looked it up, and it's Grove Street Games that did it. So Grove Street Games, formerly War Drum Studios, according to Wikipedia, is an American video game developer based in Gainesville, Florida. I mean, back when I used to visit the gym, that's where I was from, was Gainesville. Not anymore, though.
There's the canned laughter
Zing.
for your edit, Dave. You don't have to put that in afterwards.
What a zinger. The company is known for porting games to mobile platforms, including several ports based on Rockstar Games properties. So they've just done it. So the same studio that ported them originally to mobile have just done it again for console. And it just turns out it was just more than they could chew, because it's obviously not hit up to standard.
That's disappointing, really, isn't it? Considering, you know, the quality that Rockstar put out, and they're known for quality, aren't they, guys? You know, to hand it off to someone else that they trust because they did the mobile games, and for this to be so badly received, it's a big L.
It's a massive L.
It's
And
huge.
I suppose this is the thing about it, though, is that the same way that Disney is super protective of their IP, right? And they don't let anyone else kind of, even if you wanted to even use like an image of Mickey or anything like that, you've got to get signed off by them. You've got to get authorization to do that. I think sometimes people need to just look after their IP in the same way, because it doesn't take much for you to really destroy your reputation. You look at what happened with the Witcher series, and with fucking Studio. Oh my god, the name's got on my head now. Drinking.
CD Projekt Red.
CD Projekt Red. Yeah, my god, I couldn't think what they were called then for a moment. That's how irrelevant they've become. And
That's the cyberpunk effect.
oh, it is. And this is the thing. It doesn't take much to really just destroy your consumer confidence in your products. And with the amount that they built up with Red Dead Redemption 2, which is, even though I haven't played it, from what I've seen, it's best in class in terms of performances, in terms of the actual level of detail they put in there is Last of Us 2 levels, if not better. It's just incredible that they could just say, do you know what? We got all this boatload of money that we're just sitting on by re-releasing these. Why not just do it internally and just get it out there, especially when you're making hand over fist cash from GTA Online at the minute? Just makes no sense to me.
No, it makes no sense to me either. And I think this is probably quite a new thing for video companies to start like considering, you know, where they have older games and they want to work on the new thing. They always want their studio working on the new thing, the new cool, don't they? And to do any re-releases, generally companies, they palm it off to a lower studio. We've seen it with Naughty Dog and Uncharted. You know, the Uncharted trilogy was put out by another games developer, wasn't it, Davey?
Well, it was put out by Bluepoint. So, I mean, they put
Bluepoint.
it in ultimately the best,
best
studios
hands.
to do it.
You know,
But-
where were Bluepoint on the Grand Theft Auto trilogy?
Well, they're Sony owned now, aren't they? So it ain't gonna happen. But they might have been contracted before to do it. That could have been the studio to go to. I think it's important, like you said. You know, whoever you choose to do it, that's where the money is. You know, like a studio can really make a name for itself. You think about how far Bluepoint has come just from doing these ports and doing these kind of remasters to now become a studio that I'd rank myself personally on the same level as hype as I do for maybe not Naughty Dog, but maybe like some of Insomniac's other projects outside of Spider-Man. that I'd be like, okay, like I cannot wait to see what these guys do. Maybe put them on the same level as Bend or something like that, which is a massive praise for a studio that haven't done anything original in
Yeah,
their
definitely.
entire lifestyle.
Yeah, definitely. Like I feel totally the same. You know, they've done a good job with the entire Uncharted trilogy, if I can even say these words, Uncharted trilogy, and that's why they've been given, you know, their own opportunity to create their own games. So I think when companies get these big IPs and they're tasked with doing a remake, they need to do a good job, because ultimately this could be their way in.
And I suppose the thing about it is people are overly critical when they see, like, for example, Halo. They see fruits that they can't shoot and they complain about it, right? If it's a game that you know intrinsically well, that's been out for like 20 years, that everyone's explored the complete arsehole out of, like San Andreas, any mistake you make is going to be absolutely picked up in a flash. It doesn't take long for anything to be really criticized and compared to the original. So you need to be over and above on these compared to making an original project.
It's funny that you say they're comparing it to the original, because it is the original. They're just doing an improvement on the original. So it should ultimately be better than the original on the newer hardware. That's the bare minimum that we're asking for. So if it doesn't even meet the bare minimum, why are they greenlighting it? Why has anyone in the office said yes? I don't understand it at all. If it doesn't even just meet the minimum standard. And that's not even what I'm asking for. I want it better. I want it upscaled. I want new elements within the game. I want to improve on it.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? This is what makes you wonder why they even ship this. Because it's not like as if Rockstar are desperate for cash, right? They're making hand over fist money from GTA 5. They're making a stupid amount of money from people on that game. Let alone the fact that we're getting the actual, like, PS5 versions in the coming months. It's just madness to me that they even would think about, yeah, do you know what? Fuck QA. Let's just put it out because someone will buy it. They're not desperate. Like, you can sit on that until it's right and then put it out. It just shows to me either a total amount of trust that was put into Grove Street Games to deliver this, which has now been dashed, or a total lack of care from Rockstar. I don't know which one's worse, to be honest. Spence, you got any thoughts on this?
Well, I never had any intention on buying the trilogy remaster, so the fact that it's dog shit is kind of funny to me anyway. The Twitter clips I've seen are amazing. Have you both seen what happens when you know, like when you're driving, you can look behind you? You can like reverse your view. If you're in first person on a quad bike, have you seen what happens?
I have. It's actually amazing. Do you want to describe to the listeners?
Just like this. Staring at his face.
Your face basically swells into the entire camera. You can't see anything else other than that. That's for you.
So
audio
basically
listeners.
what I did for quick news.
Yeah.
Basically,
That's what happened, yeah. I was doing the GTA face.
Obviously, this is all supposed to be relating back to the GTA 4 remaster. I don't think they would make the same mistakes again. However, I don't trust them not to. And I don't need a GTA 4 remaster. So, irrelevant as to if this is true or not, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying the GTA 3 trilogy. I'm good. Really? Either way. I'm done with GTA until the next big one. I'm not going to buy old ones because I have them all.
But Spence, of course, some of our listeners probably did buy the Grand Theft Auto trilogy and probably quite disappointed with the product they got. If you put yourself in their shoes a minute. If you had bought it, would you be confident in buying the next one? Probably not because of this, yeah?
I mean, yeah, not at all.
Yeah, I suppose this is the thing. The studio now, for the next one, they need to learn from these mistakes. And it needs to be upped. It needs to be something that people say, wow, I need to pick this up. And they think maybe, oh, that's how I remember it looked. Because we all remember that games look way better than they actually do, right? So they need to...
Yeah, we're definitely experiencing that with Metal Gear.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. So they need to go over and above on this one. And going back to your original rumor that you put out, do I believe this is true? Yes, I do. I do believe it's true. 2023 sounds right. That sounds like a good time for it. Am I excited? No. I really don't give two fucks. But depending on how much they do and how much work they put into it, maybe my opinion can be changed. But from my stance right now, I'm not in on this.
So for me, I'm probably going to believe this is true. You know, like if they're doing the trilogy, why wouldn't they just move forward with it? They're going to make money on it. It's one of those things. But hopefully, as Davey said, they've learned from their mistakes. And if Grove Studio Games, they are to develop GTA 4, then fingers crossed they've learned their lessons. If not, hopefully it's a different studio and they do a better job. We'll just have to wait and see. But we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll probably report on that in the future once this rumour is either proven or disproven.
Okay, so for Rumour 2, and this is only going to be a quick one, I imagine, unless you guys want to go off on it. Quantic Dream. Now, we've spoken about them before on Rumour Has It when we talked about this Star Wars game we're doing. Well, we've had new news for them. Quantic Dream, the makers of Heavy Rain and Detroit Become Human, their next game is reportedly called Star Wars Eclipse. It's rumoured to be shown soon, probably at the Game Awards. Now, the unannounced title is reportedly taking place during the High Republic era, which is 200 years before the Phantom Menace for all you Star Wars nerds out there. Now, Phil, I know you're not massive into Star Wars games. Does this being a timeline 200 years before the events of the films make you interested? Or is it still a complete bin off?
Yeah, just put it in the bin, honestly. Like, I'm just not into Star Wars as much as people now viewing us on Spotify and YouTube can see my room, and it is full with like geek chic toys. You know, we got the Transformers, we got the Gundams, we got the Resident Evil figures.
Oh, fuck, I wasn't ready. I was so not ready. I was so not ready for that button.
We got the Resident Evil figures, and we've got even more Transformers down at the bottom. I don't enjoy Star Wars at all. Literally nothing on my shelves behind me is Star Wars. So I don't even know what it would be to bring me back into Star Wars at this point. And again, this has just passed me by. I know nothing about it. So I'll take my shot. I'll enjoy my shot, and I'll let Spencer take the floor.
So we actually discussed this quite recently, I think. David Cage is a weird dude, but I like his games. I do like his games. I've not played Detroit Become Human yet, but I played Heavy Rain. I played Fahrenheit, and they're fun. Good games. Heavy Rain's great game, and I do want to play Detroit Become Human. I do think that'd be a fun play. A Star Wars game in the same kind of realm as those. I like Star Wars. I like Star Wars a lot. Rogue One's the best one, in my opinion, which is also fact. But I don't think I care too much about playing a Star Wars David Cage game, because it's either not going to be canon, or it's too old for the canon to even matter. So why would I care? Unless the game's fantastic, which it could be. Chin chin. Moment of silence.
The button is now armed because Phil's taking his shot.
I could have said it, I forgot. Damn.
Yeah.
Cheers, lads.
Yeah, as much as like I do like Star Wars and I like David Cage's games, I don't think I'll care about this. There's so many more important games I need to play. And whether or not this is real, which it very well could be, a bit strange if it is. Because I think David Cage kind of likes to act in his own imagination rather than using existing IP. But even if it does exist and it's true, I'm good, personally.
I mean, personally, I'm not hyped about this, but I'm interested. I enjoy David Cage's games enough to give them the attention they deserve. And I really did enjoy Detroit Become Human. I thought it was it was a fantastic experience. It was great. The Star Wars IP, like you said, Spence, it kind of puts me off a little bit. I feel like it doesn't need this. I feel like it's kind of just a waste, really, for what could be just a really original tale in its own universe. However, David Cage might do something really great here. And if this is true, which I imagine it is, the amount of rumors that are coming out now, especially with a title, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see this in a couple of weeks at the Game Awards. If it looks good, I'm going to be the first one to buy it. You know? That's all it comes down to. I will be the first one to buy it. We'll see. I'm quite happy. I'm at a meh level. All right? Like a 5 out of 10. Like, I don't care if it's true or not. Like, I'm not like some of the other rumors that we've had for games that can't be mentioned, Revelations 3, things like that, right? I'm just like, yeah, if it's true, bring it on. And I think we're all kind of the same, other than Phil, who's just a default no, because anything to do with the Force, he just doesn't give a shit about.
Very true. I hope the rumor is wrong because I don't want any more Star Wars games. I want them to bury that shit.
Listeners, it's been a long time since I've done a competition. I recently just cleared out all my PlayStation 1 games, and it turns out that after I had some extra games given to me by my neighbour back on our first ever episode of the podcast, I got some doubles. I got Duke Nukem Time to Kill up for grabs right now, and there's one way to win it. I'm doing another geography competition right here. I want to revisit this a little bit because the mayor never responded to me after I sent him a copy of Robot Wars. So, I want to see where we go from this. And to be honest, the first listener from the state that wins this, that responds to me, you will receive a PAL version of Duke Nukem Time to Kill. So you can't play it, but maybe we'll sign it or something, whatever you want, right? Maybe I'll put a picture of my dick in there, whatever you want, okay? Maybe I'll put like a nude photo in there, whatever you want, okay? Just let me know what you want and I'll include it. So, the 3 states in America that are currently leading this, in number 1 is Michigan with 17% of the vote. Behind that, 15% of the total American listenership is Virginia, and then coming up third is Washington. So, I'm going to do a competition over the next 3 episodes. Okay, only the next 3. Whoever wins that, whichever state, whoever responds to us first on the email, pswetrust@gmail.com, you will receive a copy of Duke Nukem Time to Kill. Now, if for some reason you don't want that prize and you want something else, then you can get in the fucking bin. Don't even bother writing in, alright? Because that's all I got. But the point of this is more than anything, just to share the podcast round, right? There's multiple ways to support us. The best way of doing that, putting a review on Apple, Google, wherever you get your podcasts. But ultimately, the power is yours. Just like Captain Planet says. Share it around with your mates. Get it involved. And I want to see, out of our American listenership, which one of you does the best. 3 episodes to make a difference. Now, there are other ways to interact with the show. Phil?
We have a Reddit, which we have quite a few people sort of chit-chatting now and again, little bits about the podcast. So we got all the episodes up on Reddit, and you can sort of interact with the hosts live on the forum. So if you've got any questions, leave them there. I know we've got a lot of listeners out in India at the moment. I've seen that jump up on the analytics. So I'd love to hear from you, India, or of course anywhere across Europe or the States.
And of course, you can reach out to us on Twitter. I manage the MPS We Trust Twitter every single day. I always have it on. I get all the notifications. I check it all the time. It's a bit quiet at the minute, other than Phil giving me notifications every 4 minutes. So I would love to hear from you guys. And if not, you can always feel free to reach out to us, any of us, on our individual Twitter accounts in the description below.
And following that, guys, I think it's time to bring it on to the topics. And the first topic being the big quiz. Stop! Topic time! Okay, so we're in topics, and as it is episode 30, the fucking blowout!
Blowout!
We are doing a quiz. Now, the way this normally works is that we ask Alexa to choose a random number between 1 and 3, 1 being myself, 2 being Phil, 3 being Spencer. They start them with their quiz. They can choose who goes first. And the way it works is that you ask them a question. They answer. That answer cannot be used again by somebody else. And the quiz owner can decide if the button is on or not for this.
Oh, that's extra.
Well, that's what you used last fucking time. So I'm just taking that as privilege.
Mate, I can't remember the last blowout because it's a hashtag blowout.
You made Spencer take a shot for a right answer because he had to answer it as the game that can't be mentioned. So we might as well put that as a rule out there now. But the basic rule is that whoever gets the question wrong has to take a shot. and that's the way it works. So we got 5 questions each, makes a maximum of 15 questions, and a winner will hopefully be decided. If not, then it goes to a final question, and that will decide the victor. So, Spencer, do you want to do the honors? Oh, Phil, you got a question?
Quickly before we move on, I know a lot of people listen to podcasts in 2 parts. So just to bring people up to date, if you are listening to the second part, I've done a blowout before, so I'm 1. Davey's won a blowout before, so he's 1. Spencer, you've not won. So this is our 3rd blowout, so hopefully Spencer might redeem himself on this one, or it might just be 2 to me. We'll have to see.
We can only hope. Right, so Davey's 1, Phil's 2, I'm 3, right? Yeah? Hey Siri, pick a number between 1 and 3.
A random number between 1 and 3 is 1.
We're starting with mine, boys. We are on to my quiz.
I know we said Alexa, but Siri also works for choosing random numbers.
It's true.
So, guys, you've always complained before that my quizzes are ultra difficult, right? That I always seem to go last, and then you always whine and bitch and say, oh, Dave, you don't give multiple choice. Dave, your quizzes have GCSE questions in them rather than being just based around PlayStation. Well, now I'm setting the precedent. So, this quiz, I decided to do something unique. I was thinking about what happens in a general pub quiz setting, and there's always a music round. Now, I don't want to get copyright struck, so I turn to my son's instruments. I've got lots of instruments here, and I'm going to play songs which are important for either PlayStation or the wider gaming landscape. Now, in terms of who's going to go first, Spencer, you're number 2. Phil, you're number 1. Ask Siri who's going first on this.
Hey Siri, pick a number between 1 and 2.
A random number between 1 and 2 is 2.
So Spencer, you're going first then on this. So you have the first opportunity to guess on this. It is not multiple choice. You need to guess what game the song is from. This is on recorder.
Is that the actual notes?
No, I've not practiced this. I've not practiced this before today.
So it's just a general kind of area.
General melody. A general melody. I can
melody,
repeat it
right.
if you want it repeated. I can.
Oh
repeat
yeah,
it.
yeah. I need it repeated, definitely.
Okay.
You need it repeated.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What do you think?
What
What game is that from?
How the fuck am I supposed to know?
You kick
Is it
yourself?
multiple choice? Do we have multiple
No,
choice?
it's not multiple
No.
choice.
No multiple choice. Brilliant.
What's it from?
That's not from anything, mate.
It is.
What you played isn't from anything.
In my head, it sounds perfect.
Right. Do we have any clues? Are you going to give us like a console? Obviously, it's PlayStation. Is it
I'll give
1,
you a
2,
con-
3, 4,
I'll
5?
I'll give you a console. The series has... in fact, I'll give you a clue. All right, be very cryptic. The game series has 4 mainline entries and another one, which is on a different device.
It's Uncharted.
It's Uncharted. Well done.
I thought it was
Spencer.
Uncharted anyway. And then you went to say it has multiple, and then you stopped yourself to like say the sentence, and I literally went, it is Uncharted, yeah.
There you go. So that's...
I hate that I knew that. I hate that I knew that was Uncharted.
You knew that was Uncharted. It's obvious. So, Phil, you got to take a shot for that one, I'm afraid, mate. Whatever you guess is going to be wrong. What are you going to guess?
Well, I would guess the Uncharted series.
You can't guess the same thing someone else has guessed before. That's the rules of the quiz. Always been the rules.
If I get it right, he doesn't have to guess. He just does the shot. Come on.
Yeah, I know. I know. You still wanted to
Okay.
say.
Oh, all right. So I've got one shot.
Yeah.
So what I said at the start of the show was that I wouldn't get anything wrong. I still haven't got anything wrong because I haven't got anything right.
That's true. Well, no.
True.
Not because I haven't got anything right. It's because you haven't had a
Spencer got
chance.
something right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance. Can we have number 2 as I'm drinking?
Of course. The next one, Phil, you answer first on this. And Joe, I'm going to do something different on this one. I'm not going to tell you if you're right or wrong. I'm going to get the other person to guess. All right? Afterwards, just because it's a bit of banter. So here we go. I'm going to use the kazoo for this one.
That's too easy. That's too easy, I reckon.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right,
Phil?
is there any clues on this one?
No more clues. I'm not doing any. I shouldn't have given
So
clues
when
on the last
Spencer
one.
says it's too easy and you're just like, oh, well, no clues, so Phil gets the shot because Phil clearly doesn't know.
No, that's not. No, it's not. I
Very
shouldn't have given a
biased.
clue on the last one.
Very biased, this one.
You know what I'm like? I do not give,
Yeah,
I
biased.
shouldn't give clues.
I-
All right, I'll give you a clue.
Go on
and
then.
this is the last clue, this entire thing.
I think you should give clues for more because it's not multiple choice.
No. It's my quiz. No clues.
Right,
That
I'm
one-
going to remove the multiple choices from mine.
That's
I'm
fine.
gonna say, I'll say the Uncharted one. I thought it was Uncharted before. That clue just told me it was that one. I know 100% what that one is.
This is a game that came out on the PlayStation 1. That's my clue.
Is it a game I've played?
I'm not giving you any more. I've given you, that's enough. You got the theme, which I can play again if you want me to play
Yeah,
again.
play it again. Play it again. Let me close my eyes because your
This
face
one's
just
so
puts me
easy.
off.
Okay, ready?
This one is so easy, I reckon. Second one was worse than the first.
You can't repeat greatness, mate.
That's true.
I
What do you think, Phil?
honestly
What's your
don't
guess?
have a clue. So I'm just going to
What's
try
your
and
guess?
think of a game that you would have played on the PS1. Oh, Spencer, stop being so smug.
No, I'm
This
thinking.
hurts.
I'm smiling because if you guess it, you're not knowing it, and you get it right, I'm fuming because I know exactly what it is.
I don't
want
think
to
it's
be that
Metal Gear
guy.
Solid. I don't think it's Metal Gear Solid. But I'll say Metal Gear Solid.
Spencer, your guess?
Final Fantasy VII.
It's Final Fantasy VII. It's the fight on music for Final Fantasy VII.
Brilliant.
Well
It was
done.
the
A game I've never played. It's the way the cookie crumbles, boys.
It's the way the cookie crumbles. I'm going to stick to the kazoo for the next couple.
I didn't know that was FF7 right away. It was until you did the fast part, and that was when I knew.
Okay.
And the dun 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 dun.
Dun, dun, dun. I was going to do Cosmo Canyon, but I thought that'd be too hard for you guys. Do 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 do.
Yeah, I wouldn't have got that, I don't think.
Best theme song ever. Right, okay, next one. Ready? I'm using the kazoo again. That's all you get.
That's it.
That's all you get.
What the fuck is that?
And there's
Can
no
you tell
clues.
me?
There's no clues with this one either.
No.
Well, good job I know it.
Does he actually, or is he bluffing?
God knows. It's your turn to answer first, though, Spence.
Oh. If he knows it, I'm inclined to say Death Stranding.
Okay, is that your answer?
Can Can you repeat it for me, please?
And that is it. Perfect rendition.
What the fuck is that? What the fuck? I'll stick with Death Stranding, I suppose.
Okay. Phil, you answer?
You're going to kick yourself, mate. It's The Last of Us.
Is it actually? Because I thought, is it? I was listening to it thinking, is it?
It's God of War.
Oh.
The Last of Us.
I was going to say, I listened to it.
Both
I
take a
have.
shot.
When I boot up my
War.
PC boots up with the Last of Us theme. So I thought, there's no way that's Last of Us. That's why I asked you to play it again.
Last of Us would have been like. That would be Last of Us.
I don't know if it would. I don't think it would, mate.
Well, I've had a shot for every single one. Brilliant.
So no right answers on that one. I thought that was the easiest one. Even my wife guessed that one.
Did you? I haven't played God of War in a hot minute, mate.
Cheers, Spence.
Cheers, Phil.
Phil, you start on the next one.
Go on in.
I got a combination of instruments today. I got a tambourine and a kazoo. Ready?
That one's easy as fuck.
Oh, why is it easy?
There's no way you don't know that one.
Is there any clues?
No, there's no more clues.
There's no way you don't know that. So it's a game I've played.
Yeah, 100%.
I honestly thought this quiz would be too easy.
God of War's the only one I haven't got.
Do you want me to play it again?
Yeah, play it again.
You don't need to play it again. I think it's so obvious. Do it.
No. Fucking myself up. Okay.
That was different.
Slightly different.
Yeah.
Right. So my only real clues.
Sorry, carry on.
Thanks. My only real clues is what Spencer said, right? So I know Spencer hasn't played Death Stranding, so it's 100% not going to be that, right? So my guess is something that I've played, that we've all played, and the button is off. So potentially I'm going to say Resident Evil Village.
Okay. Spencer, your choice?
Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, it's Metal Gear Solid. It's Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater.
We're not even playing that game.
Oh, what a thrill. Darkness and silence through the night. Dun, 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 dun.
Well, there's another drink for
Still
me.
in a dream, Snake Eater.
I've never played it.
No. Well, I've never
Okay.
remembered it. I played it on the PS.
PS2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
PS3. Is it PS?
Right, last one.
That
then.
one, mate. That one was easy as fuck. It was the drum was messing it up. The drum made it harder.
Do you reckon? I thought it was better.
No, drum made it so much harder.
Okay, so I'm using the same combination for the last two. The kazoo is just the best instrument in the world.
Makes it easy, yeah.
Right, ready?
It's me first, isn't it?
It is.
Sick. I have 4 points. Crash Bandicoot.
Phil?
PlayStation All Stars.
It's Crash Bandicoot. Well done, Spencer.
Turns out
So-
Spencer's goated on like video game music because I haven't got a clue.
So, what are the scores following my round?
I have 4 points. Phil has 0.
Ooh.
It might be my dub. It might be my dub.
Well, that concludes my amazing music round. Spencer, as the winner of the last quiz, why don't we come across to you?
Okay. Well, unlike yourself, bringing some creativity, some idiocy to the quiz, I've just kind of stuck to the standard. But I've also kind of chosen who I want to go first. I've written these out in an order. So my first question is directed to you, Phil.
Brilliant. Should I queue up the next shot?
Oh, I mean, I think you'll get it right.
This is almost like Davey's stag do, where he had 10 Jaeger bombs in a row. And then some other kid came along and did 11 just to fuck you over.
You did, yeah. True.
Ah.
Also, I'm going to say the button's active.
Well, I know the answer now.
The button's active, but it's because the questions are about the game, not the answer.
Oh, God.
So if you're thinking about the game, you might accidentally say it.
Right, go on then.
So, the first question for you, Phil. In the game that cannot be mentioned 1, what song do you play on the piano in order to open a secret passageway? No multiple choice.
No multiple choice. Well,
No.
I know he's played on a piano.
Do you know what song it was?
No, of course I don't know what the song is. Davey will know what song it is because he's reviewed them recently. So I'll take my shot. I understand
Have a
how this
guess.
works, guys.
Have a guess.
Have a guess at what song?
Yeah, it's not gonna be like
Michael
It's not-
Jackson bad.
can you imagine it was that.
Well, do
It's,
you know if you do play it, do you know what you get? Fuck all, because it's the wrong song.
It's Moonlight Sonata.
It is Moonlight Sonata. That's a point for Dave. Sorry, Phil.
Thanks, guys. Thought I had friends on this podcast.
To be fair, it's been like 11
Bring back Potato
months.
Chief.
It's been 11 months since I last played that game.
So I knew it right away, so I thought Phil would as well.
How would I
Clearly,
know
you
that?
don't pay much attention to the music in games. I've noticed.
Well, that's 6 questions about music. I've got every single one of them wrong.
Yeah. I'm sorry, mate. Davey, next question's for you. I think this is one that Phil would get right. This is why I've done it in this order. Back on the PlayStation 2, what was the standard size of storage that an official memory card held? No multiple choice.
64 megabyte.
Wrong. Phil, have a guess?
I know it is.
16?
No, it's 8.
Oh, we've
Oh,
all
I
gone
thought
big.
it was I was going to guess 32. Oh, I
We've
totally
all,
No.
we've all gone way big.
This was on the release of PS2. I'm saying. I think it might have gone up towards the end, but
All right then, Phil. You and me go do a drink.
Phil's getting bladdered.
Yeah, but got my tequila. Have you got your drink ready?
I've got to go and get more because I'm out of what I brought up.
All right, I'm gonna do my.
I honestly wasn't expecting to do 10, but
I don't think you're doing 10. Yeah, he's doing 10. All right. So on to the next question. Phil, this one's for you.
thank you.
In The Last of Us, what is the name of Ellie's mum?
Who knows? Like, I don't know. If it's no multiple choice, it's just impossible, right?
Just pulls it.
Jacqueline.
It's not Jacqueline.
Jackie. I'm gonna go for. It's total guess. Mary.
Reckon it's Mary.
No.
The answer is Jacqueline. It's Anna. It's Anna. You find out because she has a letter from her mum.
And you thought my quiz was hard.
Yeah, this is bad. I didn't think it'd be like this. When I had the multiple choices in there, because I did originally have multiple choices, I looked at them and thought this is too easy. So I
Yeah,
got rid of
because you
them.
know the answers to them.
No, I know, yeah, but
So,
no.
there's quite a few things you're doing to make it harder. By picking the person first, that makes it harder. And then no multiple choice makes it harder.
It's true.
He's bitching. He hadn't done his fucking quiz yet.
Well, you have to wait until
Maybe
see
got
tomorrow.
retribution to come.
It's 5 for 5 for both of you boys.
You ready?
Born.
This question was specifically for you. Davey, what was your 11th platinum?
What? What was my 11th platinum? Are you fucking for real? Can I check it myself?
No.
No, not allowed. Not allowed access.
I'll tell you what, actually, yeah, you can.
Well, that's just cheating. I'll just take forever. No, I'm not gonna check it.
Either you can check. If you want to get it right, you can check.
No, I'm not gonna do that. That's fucking bullshit. I'm gonna take a guess. My first platinum was Infamous.
It was.
11th. So specific.
Yeah, there's a reason I chose it, that's why.
I reckon it's Resistance 2.
Phil gets to guess as well.
I get to guess what Davey's 11th platinum is.
You do. You gotta think, why did I choose 11? What game could he have platinum back then that I thought would be funny for the quiz?
And it's PlayStation 3, isn't it?
Would have been back then.
It is,
For
yeah.
sure. For sure.
So, is there any clue, Spence? Because I've got a massive disadvantage here. Because I don't look at trophies. I'm not Davey, so I didn't actually do it.
That's true.
Yeah,
So
give
I'm
him a
just
feeling.
guessing a PS3 game that was
Oh.
early.
That
I
would've
might be
plat-
able to give you a really big clue.
Well, it might help me. I'm
Yeah, go on, I'll
almost 7 shots down.
I'll allow it.
You have it as well.
I own a lot of games.
Yeah, how many have you platinumed?
None of them.
You have the platinum.
Oh, I know what it is.
Little Big Planet, then.
It's Resident Evil 5, isn't it?
The button's armed,
Oh,
Davey.
fuck me. Oh, you fucking scumbag. I gotta find it now. Oh, fuck me. It's Resident Evil 5. It's my 11th platinum. Oh, fucking hell. Gotta take a shot now. And I don't even have the answer right. None of us had the answer right, and I gotta take a shot.
You gotta do 2 shots,
I
mate.
got 2 shots from that. How many questions you got left?
One
One more
question
shot,
left.
then. That's all I gotta do.
This question, Phil, you get the answer first, and it's closest wins. Okay?
Yep.
Episode 28 of In PS We Trust, titled Enter the Danger Zone, has how many views on its YouTube upload? Right now. The closest wins.
128.
Davey?
110. I'll go lower.
You both stick into this.
Yes.
It's exactly 110.
No way. I didn't check that. I didn't check it. I swear to God. So, Spencer, that concludes the end of your quiz. We've had a good bit of PlayStation music. We've had a good bit of PlayStation knowledge. And I suppose now it's time to move it on to Phil's quiz. So, just before we do, what are the current standings as we move into the final round of the Big Quiz 3?
Right, so I'm currently sitting on 4 points. Davey, you're sitting on 2 points, and Phil is still on 0 points.
Okay. So it's all to play for on Phil's round. Phil, over to you.
Well, I've prepared something for you guys, so give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to have a quick change.
He's got a blazer on.
As is a game show, we've put the blazer on, right? Let's pop that collar, and we're ready for round 1 of the big quiz. Phil's round.
Let's go.
Can you believe this, listeners? You're getting all this content for free, right? Nothing to even pay. I got all these insurance for my son. I bought in. Spence bought, whatever he did. For
Bullshit.
a load of bullshit questions. And Phil's got a fucking blazer. Right,
I've got a
come on then,
blazer
Phil.
and proper PlayStation knowledge.
Bring it.
Here we
Let's
go.
get it.
In the game Metal Gear Solid, which we've all been playing for the spoiler cast, which sees you take control of Solid Snake, a soldier who infiltrates a nuclear-based facility to neutralize a terrorist threat from foxhounds. According to Wikipedia, how many copies of the game were sold worldwide? So, I did do multiple choice, but you guys have fucked me over every round. So do I give them the multiple choice or do I not?
If you can find it in your heart.
It's your choice. What you could
Because
do is you
if
could
I
do
don't give you the
closest
multiple
number-
choice,
closest number wins.
I
That
probably
would be the
wouldn't,
way
would I? I would just say I just need the exact number. If I was going to be
That'd be-
terrible, but fuck it, I'm already out, so I've already lost. So I'll give you the multiple choice because it doesn't matter either way. I'm going to come last because you boys have been absolute, to me. So A, more than 6 million copies. B, more than 7 million copies. C, more than 8 million copies. D, more than 9 million copies. Or E, more than 10 million copies. So I'm looking for what Wikipedia quotes as how many copies were sold worldwide of the game Metal Gear Solid on the PS1. I'm going to come to Spencer first.
Okay, I don't know why. I feel like I might have seen it before, but I might also just be chatting up my arse. I want to go with 6 million.
Okay, so that's A, 6 million.
Yeah.
Over to you, Davey. What are you going to
Can I
go
have
for?
the
So you can't go
options
for
again,
A,
please?
so you've got B is 7 million, C is 8 million, D is 9 million, and E is 10 million.
I'm gonna go. Am I gonna regret it? If I go 8 million, am I gonna regret it? I don't think it is 8 million. 8 million is massive. PlayStation 1. Massive. And the console sold like 90 odd mil. How many
It's a
people
very good
play
game,
it?
though, isn't it?
It's amazing. It's the best game of all time. I'm gonna go 7 million.
And the answer is B, 7 million. Davey, you are correct. Metal Gear Solid sold more than 7 million copies worldwide, and it shipped 12 million demos. It scored 94 out of 100 on aggregate website Metacritic. It is regarded as one of the most important games of all time and helped popularize the stealth genre in-game cinematics cutscenes. So very impressive game. So well done, Davey. You are correct, Spencer. Please take your shot. 1 point to Davey. The competition is heating up. So my quiz, I've got 3 normal questions and then I've got some bonus rounds. So let's move on to the bonus round. Our bonus round is called How Many Clanks?
Oh no! Oh no! He's coming back to bite me in the arse. For listeners, if
go.
you don't remember, in quiz one, I asked the height of Lady Dimitrescu from the game that can't be mentioned 8 in clanks, and it's coming back to bite me in the arse.
Here we go. So guys, how many clanks? So your answer is going to be in the amount of clanks that equals my question, okay? So bonus question 1. We're gonna do normal question, bonus question, and then we might have a sneaky bonus question in at the end, okay? So bonus question 1. In Gran Turismo, the track El Capitan, which sees you race around a massive rock with the same name in the Yosemite National Park, how many clanks long is this track?
Oh my god. Wait, so hold on. Do you have 10 questions?
No, I have 5.
How many
two of
bonus
them are
questions do you
bonus.
have?
This is a bonus.
This is the bonus question. So I've had 1 normal question, and this is the second question, which is the bonus question.
Does it mean anything?
Yeah, what's the bonus?
The bonus is it's how many clanks.
Oh, okay.
So we got two questions about how many clanks.
So A, do you want the multiple choice? I can give you the multiple choice. It's going to help
Yeah,
you, sure.
yeah.
Right?
We
No.
need.
So
We don't mind.
we know in Grand Theft Auto, we know in Gran Turismo 4 the track El Capitan. Okay, so you remember it, guys? You remember racing
Remember it.
around the mountain in Yosemite National Park? So how many clanks long? So if you did end-to-end clanks, how long would that track be? So A, 525,855 clanks. B, 492,567 clanks. C, 4,200. I can't even say the number. C, 425,855 clanks. D, 536,448 clanks. And E, 427,788 clanks. So guys, what you want to do is just visualize that track and then put a clank end to end on that track. And then just tell me how many clanks there are. Just count them in your mind.
Can I please get the measurement for clank again? I can't remember the exact measurement.
Come on, Davey. Everybody knows clank is 0.6 meters high or 2 feet tall.
Okay.
Duh.
I never played Gran Turismo 4.
Well, Davey gets to go first on this one, so he might eliminate the wrong answer. We'll have to see.
I hope so.
Can I please have the... I think it was the second option you went down one. Can I please have that one again?
So that was 492,567 clanks. End to end.
I'm going to go for that, please.
You're going to go B? Okay. That's locked in. Spence, where are you going?
Fucking hell. I can't remember any of them. I'm just gonna say D. Fuck it.
It is D. Correct.
Fuck off!
You've done
Fuck
so
off.
well. It is actually D. So the track El Capitan is 200 miles long, which actually works out at 536,448 clanks if you did it end to end. So that's a lot of clanks, guys. That's a lot of clanks.
That's insane.
So well done, Spencer. You saw that in your mind's eye. Sorry, Davey, you've got to take a shot. Right, guys, on to the next normal question. We'll leave a bonus, how many clanks, to a little bit later. So this is question 3 out of 5, okay? So in the original 1996 Tomb Raider game on the PS1, which sees you take control of our leading lady, Lara Croft, as she adventures into ancient ruins to discover mythological treasures, there was a cheat code to strip Lara down to her birthday suit. But what was that code, Davey? You know this. It's written across your face. So A, circle, circle, triangle, X in the pause menu. Triangle, square, circle, circle in the pause menu. Down, R1, up, R1, down, R2, up, R2, up, up, R1, down, down, R2. Square, triangle, X, square, circle, or the code never existed.
I'll tell you what. I was going along with it until the code never existed at the end, and now I'm thinking, oh fuck.
We all remember it.
I was -2, mate. I don't remember it. I wasn't
Born
born.
in 1998.
Yeah.
Can grow up, mate.
I can't physically grow older.
Would you like me to repeat them? So all these would be entered in the pause menu to be able to strip her down to a birthday suit.
I want to go with the fucking long R2 one, but I don't think it is.
So that would be C, which would be down R1, up R1, down R2, up R2, up R1, down R2.
I don't think it's that. Could you read out A, B, and D for me, please?
So A is circle, circle, triangle, X. B is triangle, square, square, circle, circle. And D is square, triangle, X, circle, circle.
I really want to go with D. I feel like it is D, but at the same time, it was D last question. So I'm thinking, would you put it as D twice?
I am a tricky character.
You are. I'm gonna go with my gut, and I'm gonna say D.
Okay, Davey, D is out of the question. So we've got A, B, C, or E. Where are you going?
It didn't exist, so I'm going to go for whatever that is.
You sure? You don't remember Lara stripping down?
Never happened. That never happened. She posed for Playboy, I think, back at that time. There was always rumors back in the day, but it never existed.
Well, it actually did exist, but it didn't exist on the PS1. It actually existed as a PC mod, obviously.
Yeah,
So
obviously.
answer is E. The code never existed. Sorry, Spence. Take you shot.
That's fine. I'll give Davey the point.
Let's fucking go. I was trying. I was putting so many like
I
fucking.
know you were. I knew you were, and that's what was making me think, is it E? You weren't helping yourself by saying all that.
Well, I did in the end.
Moving on. And we're back to the bonus round. How many planks? Are you ready for this, guys?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the game that cannot be mentioned 3, you are chased throughout the game by a villain called Nemesis. According to Google for the weight of Nemesis, how many clanks would you need to outweigh Nemesis on a standard UK scales?
How much does Clank weigh?
Well, I'll get to that in a sec. So A, 32.27 clanks. B, 17.25 clanks. C, 22.34 clanks. D, 18.97 clanks. Or E, 31.27 clanks. And we all know that clank weighs 17 pounds or 7.7 kgs.
I feel like Davey's on his calculator, you know.
Well, he looks as if he's on his phone.
I'm on my calculator, yes. I was going to ask you if it's possible. All I've done so far is done 7.7 times. I'm wondering if it's possible.
Definitely not to tell you how
No.
much Nemesis weighs.
I don't know how much he weighs, but I want to.
Well, guess.
I want to see how many clanks that's equal to. How many clanks is Nemesis?
Yeah,
That's the
what we're
question.
asking. That's what we're asking.
That's the question.
But I can work it out with math. Just like
Yeah,
my question.
this is
I
what
asked
I'm
guys.
asking you. You put them on the scales and you think, well, 32.27 clanks is going to weigh the scales up against Nemesis.
Whose go is it first? Mine?
It was you.
You've got it.
Brilliant. Can I have the answers again, please, Phil?
So A, 32.27 clanks. So we're going down to 2 decimal points with these, okay, boys? B, 17.25 clanks. C, 22.34 clanks. D, 18.97 clanks. And E, 31.27. Of course, this is horrible because you've got to envision cutting a little bit of clank off. And where'd you cut him? We just don't know. No. You wouldn't want to cut clank, would you? Come on.
He loses his arms,
down.
doesn't he?
Legs down. Don't need the legs.
This is the standard clank as well. This is important because I know clank grows in certain iterations of Ratchet and Clank. This is just your standard clank. This is the clank that Ratchet carries on his back. Okay.
What was the option like? 18.9. What was that?
18.97. So almost 19 clanks. That's probably the easiest one to visualize.
I'll go for D.
You going for the D?
Going for the D.
Spence? Davey has taken the D.
Could you read them out again for me one more time, please?
So what you've got left is A. Stick with me. 32.27 clanks.
Yeah.
Close your eyes when I'm saying this.
No, I'm seeing it in my mind. I need to look.
All right, listeners as well, because I hope you're playing at home, on your car radio, on your way back from work. B is 17.25 clanks. C, 22.34 clanks. Davey's taking the D. And E, 31.27 clanks.
I'll go see.
You're both wrong. It's B. Unfortunately, Nemesis is 292.97 pounds, or 131.88 kilograms, which of course is answer B. So that's 17.25 clanks.
Yeah, I went for C
Sorry,
because
guys. Sorry,
C
guys.
was bang in the middle.
Okay. Well done, guys. So the last question is going to be a little bit different.
You got it wrong. What do you mean? Well done.
Oh, well done for getting this far within the quiz. And I know the listeners, they're probably playing at home and they're thinking, how many clanks are there? How many tall were clanks? But this will definitely come up in the future. So remember the weights and the heights of clank, because these will definitely come up in my future quizzes. I love how many clanks.
It's so funny.
But right, on to my last questions. And we're going to handle this a little bit differently, as I said. So we're going to basically play it to Spence, and then you're going to fire it back to Davey, and then you're going to fire it back to Spence. And you're basically going down a list, and if you get one wrong, then you're out, and you've got to take that shot, okay? So here's the question. PlayStation Home was a virtual 3D social gaming platform developed by Sony Computer Entertainment's London studio for the PS3 on the PlayStation Network. During this time, there was a number of game spaces, okay? So I've got a list of game spaces that were released on the PlayStation Home, according to the Wikipedia. So I'd like you to work down that list. Spencer, you go first. So just pick a game that you think's in this list. If you get it correct, I'll move it back to Davey, okay?
I didn't play PlayStation Home.
Oh, I'm sorry, mate. I'm sorry, mate.
I don't know what the fuck a game space is.
Guess.
Well, the clues are there, right? PlayStation 3, name any game
Let's just name a PS3 game. That's it.
that you think they would have a game space.
All right.
Very.
Little Big Planet.
Correct. Little Big Planet was a game space. Davey, over to you.
Killzone.
Let's just look down the list. Davey, I think you've got this wrong. Killzone is not coming up in the list.
It is. Killzone 2 is there. Or Killzone 3, one of them.
Not in this list of PlayStation Home game spaces.
I definitely went there. I definitely went there.
Did you say Killzone 2 or 3, or did you say Killzone?
I said Killzone is a franchise, but
Did you? I don't think you did. It's a game space, not a franchise
maybe
space.
Killzone
You know what I mean?
3 then would be the one I'd guess. But I definitely went there. I remember getting the fucking Riggs fucking suit. Don't make this be like the last big quiz where we had a massive controversy where there was something wrong. If you want me to search it, I will.
I can give you the link right now.
Look at him.
Okay, well, I did say according to the Wikipedia page, and I know you're probably Googling around and thinking, yes, I remember Killzone, and sure, there might be some supporting articles out there, but according to the Wikipedia page, and that's what I said, there is no Killzone in that list, so unfortunately, Davey, Spencer gets the point.
Fucking bullshit. It's bullshit.
Wanker.
It's fucking bullshit.
And that does it for my quiz, so I can take off the coat now. Back
Let's go.
back to normal, Phil.
So, Spence, have you won?
I'm on 6 points. You're on 4.
So, that ends the big quiz. Spencer, you are unfortunately victorious. Well done.
Congratulations, Spence. Welcome.
You've joined the two of us in the big quiz pantheon of winners. It's all to play for with episode 40 in 10 episodes' time. But it's time for us to move it into topic 2.
Okay, guys, moving on. We're going to talk about the Game Awards. The nominations have been announced, and here is the list for the games that have been picked for Game of the Year. Okay, so we've got Deathloop, It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet & Clank Rifts Apart, and the game that cannot be mentioned, Village. Okay, and you all thought I was going to say that, but I've had 10 shots. I don't need another one tonight. So what I'm going to ask you guys, how do you feel about the list? Did you vote? And if you were going to nominate another game to go in that list, what would be your pick? I'm going to go to Spencer first, because I think I know where Davey's going to go with this one. It's definitely going to be Returnal. He's been shouting and screaming about this all week, or since the nominations came out on social media. So let's hear what Spencer says before Davey says he wants Returnal in the list.
Wicked. Happy to talk about this. So, I have voted for the Game Awards. I voted through all the categories, or at least the ones I could, because I didn't want to give an uninformed opinion on who should win, like esports Coach of the Year. I'm not going to vote for that because I don't know any of them. I don't really follow it. But in terms of the games that I have played, I voted for them. And the Game of the Year, out of this list, I voted It Takes Two. Because as everyone knows, on this podcast, I've stated It Takes Two was a 10 out of 10 experience. And I stand by that. That game is probably my favourite game to have come out this year. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing. And granted, I am saying it's a 10 out of 10 for the kind of experience it's giving you, not as an overall game. It's a 10 out of 10 in terms of what it's trying to deliver, and I think it delivers it really well. In terms of a game, it's probably like, it's still high, it's probably like a 9. But in terms of what that game intends to make you feel and give you in terms of gameplay, it does it perfectly. It's a 10 out of 10. I'm not sure what I know what I'd replace on this list, and that's because there's only one game I haven't played that I don't intend to play, and that's Psychonauts 2. But that's an Xbox game. I don't think we can get rid of that because otherwise it's a bit peak. Otherwise it's purely PlayStation.
Well, it's not an Xbox game. It's on PS4 too, so you can play it if you want to.
And ultimately, you don't necessarily need to get rid of one. I just said, if you wanted to add one, you could add one. Throw one in the mix.
If I wanted...
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's fair.
Let's bring it out.
If I wanted to add one, the joke option is Chicken on the Run. But... Demon Souls, I think I'd say, but it's a remake, and I know that goes against everything you stand by.
It's not
But
my
for
rules,
me-
it's the Game Awards rules. So Jeff Keighley wears trainers with a suit. So he don't fucking care about rules, does he?
It's true. They also gave Among Us awards 3 years after it came out. So they clearly don't care about what year games came out. They care about when it made an impact. It really pissed me off about Among Us. I talked about this last year, I remember. It really pissed me off. But yeah, I'd love to see Demon Souls on there, because Demon Souls remake that is beautiful. They made it so true to the original. I had a phenomenal time playing that game. It's literally the only game that I've platinumed that I want to go back to. And out of this list, I'm never going to play Ratchet & Clank again. I do still intend to play Metroid Dread. I would happily play It Takes Two with one of you boys. Either of you, if you ever wanted to, because you need to know how great this game is. And I'm going to say it. Resident Evil Village is sick.
Resident Evil.
I already had it poured, boys.
You're a fucking maniac, mate. You're a fucking maniac. To actually take another shot now, I'm fucking so trashed. I'm really worried about what I'm gonna say when I get on here now, because I'm fucking trashed. And for you to be like, do you know what? Could wear my Donatello chain and get fucking wrecked right now. And he's doing it, boys. So I just want to say, Resident Evil Outbreak needs a remake. Okay, it's fine.
That's already gone. Surely that counts.
Nah, it doesn't. Nah, I haven't finished it.
But yeah.
Right, so moving on, Davey. So how do you feel about this list? What's your favourite? What's your standout? If you could add a game, let me know. And have you voted?
So no, I have not voted. When I look at the list, I'm actually quite surprised it is this list, if I'm honest with you.
Can I just jump in on that? What is the reason you haven't voted, seeing as you run a PlayStation podcast, you're obviously really invested in this space. You'll probably watch the Game Awards. Are you planning to vote?
No, I'm not planning to, because the reason is that it's a 90-10 split. So I'm so pissed. Honestly, I'm really sorry. Gotta listen to this. It's a 90-10 split. So critics have 90% of the vote and the audience have 10%. So as far as I stand on it, my vote does matter, but ultimately I'm quite happy going with the majority, and I'm quite happy to look from an outsider view on this, because the game that I want to be Game of the Year is not represented here. Therefore, I'm not going to vote, because I don't think any of these games, to me, deserve Game of the Year. Hence why I'm not voting on it. For me, it would come as no surprise to any of you, my Game of the Year is Returnal. Returnal is far outshines any of these games on this list, as far as I'm concerned. Now, it goes without saying that there's a couple of games here that I have not played through to completion. I have not played through Deathloop, It Takes Two, or Metroid Dread, or Psychonauts 2. So that is 4 out of the 6 games I've not played through to completion. But I've played enough of It Takes Two, and I've played enough of Deathloop to know that it does not exceed the boundary when it comes to what Returnal has to offer. But in terms of answering Phil's questions, yes, Returnal would have got my Game of the Year without a shadow of a doubt. And I'm really surprised that Life is Strange isn't on this list, if I'm honest with you. Because I really feel that it's better than Resident Evil Village. Oh, fuck me.
Resident
I'm fucking trash, boys.
What happened to you? When did you start being able to hold your liquor?
I hit 32, Spence.
That sounded so sad.
I had a child and I hit 32.
I hit 32, Spence.
Ba-da-bum-bum, 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 ba-da-ba-da. The only thing that gets me alive right now is the Pirates of the Caribbean music. Tastes like regret.
So I'll take it from there. So I'll try and answer my questions a little bit. So we'll work down the list. I own Deathloop. I bought it on launch and I've played about an hour of it. So that probably tells you that I'm not going to be voting for that one. It Takes Two. As our listeners know, there's 3 of us on this podcast and It Takes Two, and I'm never invited, so I haven't played that game. Metroid Dread, I've got it on my wish list ready for Christmas, and I believe my mum's buying it me, so I'll be playing that at Christmas. So I'm really looking forward to that because I really enjoyed Fist, and it's quite similar to Fist. So when that comes out, or when I get that, I'll be delving into that. Psychonauts 2, not played it, not really known too much about it. Ratchet & Clank, that probably is my standout. That is the one that I did vote for. I did vote for the Game of the Year, and I voted for Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. It is the technical showcase, as Davey mentioned, for the PlayStation. I feel like it's made the biggest jump from its predecessor. When we look at the game that cannot be mentioned, Village, I feel like, yes, there was a move forward in that, but of course it was a PS4, PS5 version of the game. Ratchet & Clank is a PS5 solely game, and I feel like it is the best game on PlayStation at the moment. On PlayStation 5, I think. Of course, there's a lot of games coming up in the future, and I don't think it'll hold it that long, but at the moment, it's probably my favourite game on PS5. So that's the one I voted for, boys.
So, Phil, what would be your 7th game?
Well, I was trying to think about that, Davey, and I think that's quite a hard one, because I wouldn't put Death Stranding Director's Cut in there, because I hold myself to the same rules that I just don't really class that as a new game for 2021. So I'll probably go with New World. Definitely a PC game. Throw it into the mix. We don't have a PC game. Well, I mean, Psychonauts 2 technically is a PC game because it's a Microsoft game. Of course, it'll be on the Microsoft Store. But I'll probably throw New World into it. I'm really enjoying my time in that game. And I think is trying to do something different in that MMO RPG kind of space, which I appreciate because at the moment it's literally just been WoW for so long. And to see something new come along, especially from Amazon, I think that's a big achievement. Right, so thanks, guys, for going through those. Just to cap it off, Spence, what was your pick? And if you're going to add one quickly, just to go through it.
Right, of course. My pick was It Takes Two, and the game that I would add to nominations would be Demon's Souls on the PS5.
Davey, how about yourself?
So, if I could vote, it would be the game that can't be mentioned, Village. And if I could add one, it would be Returnal.
And for me, I think Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is the best game on that list. And if I was going to add one, that would be New World. So, a split decision. So, ultimately, we're all voting against each other on that one. I'd love to hear what you guys think, our listeners. So, please email in to our Gmail, which is pswetrust@gmail.com.
You can also write into the Reddit. So, the Reddit will be in the description below.
And you can always reach out to us on Twitter at MPSWeTrust or any of our individual Twitter accounts, also in the description below.
It's the fucking last topic, boys. I'm fucking trash.
I am so glad we've made it to the end of this podcast.
I've had a great time.
It's fucking brilliant.
I'm having a great time, but
I wish I was.
It's going to be a bitch. It's going to be a bitch of an edit.
Right.
Yeah, we ain't editing it.
Yo, fuck off. It's my fucking topic. So it's topic 3, and I'm bringing this one in. All right. So, it turns out the PS5 has 1 year anniversary. Who would have known it? You guys, would you know it?
We talked about it last episode.
What? Oh, crazy. Right. So, you guys in the UK, you know it's the 1 year anniversary. Well, it turns out that November 12th is actually when it launched across the world. So, in commemoration for that, they've released the most important games, the games that have been played by the most players. I'm going to run through them for you right now. Fortnite is in the number 1 position, followed by Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, FIFA 21, NBA 2K21, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Destiny 2, MLB The Show 21, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, Demon's Souls, and NBA 2022. Those are the most played games on the PlayStation 5 since its initial release. So guys, before we branch this off into further discussion, what are your thoughts on that? Spencer, bring us in.
Well, for one, I think it's crazy that Fortnite still tops. 2, I've only played 3 of these games. It's not a surprise to me that 1, 2, 3, 4 of these are sports games, because sports games always do well, and their longevity, they literally last at a peak all year, and then it's the next game. That's all it is, but they make so much money for that 1 year. I can't speak a minute. Let me do my shot. Hang on. But I've not played Fortnite in a long time, since you and I, Davey. But Black Ops Cold War was sick. That deserves the number 2 spot. So it was fantastic. And I'm surprised Demon's Souls is on there, personally. Because I didn't think Demon's Souls would do anywhere near as well as Spider-Man Miles Morales. So I'm very happy that it did. Because they are both exceptional games. But Demon's Souls is the better game, I will say.
What about yourself?
But obviously, it typically has a smaller audience.
What about yourself, Phil?
Well, looking at that list, I echo many of the thoughts Spencer has just gone through. I've actually only really played one of the games, and that would be Spider-Man Miles Morales. I mean, do I really class me as actually playing Fortnite? I think I may have played that last year sometime with yourself when when we were messing about one evening. But yeah, it just goes to show how many people buy consoles just for a single sports game, doesn't it?
Well,
You know?
what's crazy is I was speaking to a member of my staff where I work, and she was saying that her son just bought a PS4 literally last year to play COD because he couldn't play it anymore on his PS3. And my first instinct was just to call him a scrub. And I thought, no, calm it down. I won't call him a scrub. Call him a noob. Be like, oh, welcome to my generation. Here's Krakatoa. I'm at the top. You're at the bottom. I'm about to slay you. And that's how it started. And that's where it begins. So all these scrubbos, they come in at the bottom level. Oh, looking up. Oh, my first console. I'm really happy to be here. Bra-ba-ba. Down. Bah. Smash down.
What the fuck are you going on?
Don't make him laugh too much. Don't make him laugh too much.
I
It'll go
can't
off.
not.
Destroyed, right? And that's what's all about. Next. No. Next console generation.
So I've been Phil.
I've been too.
But we actually ended it.
Yeah.
Okay, and I've been Spencer.
Take care, guys. Bye. In PS We Trust is hosted by Davey, Phil, and Spencer. You can write into the show via our email, pswetrust@gmail.com. Our Twitter is @InPSWeTrust. Say bye, guys. To find each of us online, follow our Twitters
I'll see you
@SSJDavey,
later. Bye,
guys.
Love
@SpenPie_.
you.
Thank you for listening. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. See ya.